that we have on the docket on today's episode. Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. Whoever's watching this week's episode is indeed the championship rounds. That's right. All episode long, you all drive the conversation, you all drive the discourse, and you all control the flow of where the show is gonna go, all with your voice and your comments in the chat down below. We appreciate it. Again, as you see in the thumbnail, we got a whole host of things that we have to discuss off the backs of what broke yesterday with Tank and the whole assault charges, kidnapping charges. Again, we discussed the personal aspect of the ramifications, which again are vastly more important. But now we can discuss the legitimate fight aspect and in-ring production, or potentially lack thereof, that this could lead to, beyond just the sentiments of what I had about how retirement is indeed well and good in the future. We can paint the picture of what happens if he does return, what will take place, and what options actually are open with all this drama that's surrounding him. Also, we got the likes of Terrence Crawford calling out officially Janabek. Hey, we've been talking about how we want to see that fight, so now we can talk about where it looks like it's happening next. With that reality of what Janabek's going to be. If he beats him, looks like it's going to be coming down the pipe, because he straight up went to his event and said, hey, I want you. Let's see what you got. I'm waiting on you. So I'm excited to see how this is going to go and as it all unfolds. As with us, we got Dave Benavidez. We got Lamont, Roach versus Eastside Cruz talk that we have to have. We also got cards all throughout the year that we're going to keep on delving into. And just in all, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to discuss the world of excitement. That is the sports landscape, all with you and your support. But let's do the intro the right way. Hey, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Watch Report. It's me, your host, John Luke Welch. If you haven't already, come on ahead and subscribe to the channel. Come on and join the empire. Come on and be a part of this monolith of a community that we're building up together. Be sure to hit the notification bell and be sure to put your chats in the comment section down below so we can hear whatever you got to say. And also be sure to share the show with everybody that you know. Oh, wait. There we go. So we can keep on building up this empire together. And if you want to support the channel, we got Cash App, we got PayPal, we got links down below in the description. If you can support and if you can give, anything we'll do, we appreciate absolutely. While we're getting monetization in order, we appreciate all the support. And just, hey, stick around, have some fun, keep on getting the likes, tell people about the show, tell your boss, tell your coworker, tell your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your friend, that cranky old man that you don't like. I don't care. Everybody's day can be made better if they just come on in to the hottest show in all the globe, right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform. Which almost forgot, you can listen to us on any podcasting platform you have, wherever you listen to podcasts, and we will be there for your listening pleasure to have us in your ear, in your car, on your speakers at all times. Absolutely. So if you missed something, you can go back not just on YouTube, but on the platform and hear what we got to say on the matter. But again, we got a jam-packed show. We got a lot to cover in a short amount of time to do it. So since we're talking about boxing, and more importantly, since it's you all's show to control, I guess it's time to do what we do best, and it's time to jump into the championship rounds, and it's time to step into the ring. Yes, sir. Hey, buddy. That's right. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one of this show going underway, and again, the whole show is driven by you, the people, because you all deserve to have a chance to say whatever you want to say. Keep it respectful, please. Please keep it respectful. But hey, we want to hear your thoughts and opinions, debates, comments, concerns on movies, television, sports, video games, NBA, the NFL, boxing as a whole. Comments that you want to put on, opinions that you want to get off, debates that you want to have with me. Potentially some hot takes that you got. I want to hear what you got to say. Did you catch the mayor fight? Yes, I did. And look what didn't I, well, excuse me, not look what I said. Did not tell you it was going to happen. Yes, sir. Michaela Mara is now another division champion. Moved up, got another belt. And I told you, that woman's a bad woman. I'm telling you, with Clarissa Shields, with Amanda Serrano, with Katie Taylor, and there's another one. There's another, as well as Gabrielle Fondora. There's another woman I'm missing that's been a dominant champion. Michaela Mayer has been He said, since I've been really paying attention to the whole swath of boxing as a whole, she's been one of the more entertaining people that I've watched watching in the women's division. And my gosh, I knew she was going to be able to do it. And hey, I called it. I told you, I'm a bad brother when it comes to calling these fights, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clap it up for me. Yes, baby. I'm telling you, I'm on a roll. I'm back on the street. Who knows? I mean, if I get all of this stuff right for November, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Hey man, people might be just start taking my word as dollar, and who knows? I might start getting solicited to get some people as an inside source. Who knows what may be? We gotta keep it up. That is some insanely. Well, you know what? This is good, but man. I think I put a little bit too much creamer in this, but still, it is incredibly delicious. It could use some cinnamon, though. That's what I wanted to add. Use a little bit of cinnamon. I need to buy me a cinnamon stick. That's what I need. A pack of cinnamon sticks. Because they're so, you can use them and you can grind them up and use them for something else. And they add such a hint of spice and flavor that, like, if you measure it right, oh, it is ice. It's divine. It's sublime. It's everything I could confide in a drink. And I love it. I gotta make sure I gotta go get some anyway. But anyway, so I like Mayor. She gets busy. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And she is active, which I'm not saying the other women aren't. Again, a lot of times the women's division is indeed incredibly consistent. But Mayor, I've seen on multiple occasions be in there with some dogs. I mean, some real dogs on a constant basis. And it's like, for the division, she's one of the bigger and more well-known names. And she's moving like somebody who still is incredibly hungry, which I love. And I'm so happy for. Absolutely. So again, congratulations to Michaela Mayer on adding another belt to the collection of her already insanely illustrious career, and we can't wait to see how it unfolds going forward. And hopefully Top Ranks keeps putting on these cards for the public to enjoy at ease. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Tubi, Wuko TV, what was the other one? No, I already said Tubi. What was it? There was like 4 platforms that you could watch it for free. It was great. It was easy. And it was consumer friendly, which is all I've been asking. Give us some consumer friendly content so we can actually have a time where we can witness and enjoy all the stuff that takes place without having to pay some exorbitant amount of dollars that in all reality ain't even worth the hype most of the time, which is incredibly frustrating. So hey, hopefully we keep on seeing that type of stuff go through, and we can keep on having these types of fighters on these types of platforms where more people can actually easily access them and witness them. If the sport does that right, oh, we got some growth on the horizon. But again, we have more stuff to talk about still on this show, because I'm telling you, man, it is going to be we have, it's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot. And if I may, we're not trying to only discuss Gervonta Davis. And we've been doing a good job of staying away. But this whole incident, for lack of a better term, has become something that legitimately the entire media world still is reeling from and still is having insane reactions to. And we're already delved into what we talked about yesterday. Absolutely, the personal side. Again, forget the fight, the person we care about. The man, get himself right. And if you got to go now, go now. Forget the Jake Paul thing, do what you got to do. But we also got to look at it from the flip side. Regardless of what I may think of what's going to happen transpiring after this situation, there's still a possibility that, yes, not only can this fight go on, but Tank's career continues to go forth. And now we have to look at it from a new lens of, well, what is that career going to be like moving forward if it in fact does continue? The reason why that's so important is because now some of these questions that we brought up yesterday were similarly brought up with Mike Tyson on his downward spiral where he was at the top of his game in his career. And some of these things still had to be questioned up. Hey man, what's going to happen with this man being such a volatile figure. Now, yes, like we said, it can sell, it can work, all that stuff, but also from a fan's perspective, with all this going down, if in fact everything still goes forward, we had to have a real conversation about, hey man, what is what's the trajectory now? Because there's a litany of ways that this stuff can go, even though it's 2 weeks out from the fight, or roughly 2 weeks out from the fight with Jake, and then subsequently afterwards, the world of 135, I would assume, if he does get busy, would be the people that he's getting busy with. But again, is this going to be a situation where we're going to see any of these fights even get made? Or will he just lay low? Will he just, hypothetically, after Jake Paul, because if it's too late in the game, they go through with it, does he just sit out, not do anything, let the potential litigation and heat blow over? And if, in fact, everything gets found that it's whatever it is, and he's able to, and again, prayerfully, all this alleged stuff don't happen, then he goes through and be like, okay, we're just going to sit and let the sting of it all blow over and then go back to what we normally do. Not fight competition. Still not fight Shakur. Still not fight Mason. Still not go after 135 championships. Forget 140 as a whole and just stay and do whatever you want to do. It's, again, further incentive to the standard of laziness from Tank is now in place because of all this drama that's going on around. Because now there's even more fervent excuse to say, I don't need to be in the public eye. It's something that everybody wants to care about because the heat's so strong on my reputation, on my persona, on my personality. Everything about it has me on a state of flux in the fandom world. Still got people defending Tank. Still got people going against Tank. It is a hurricane of emotions. It's a hurricane of issues. It's a hurricane of legitimate reactions, visceral, on both ends of the spectrum. You got people uber defending. I'm talking about defending this man with their life. You got people saying this brother needs to be put 6 feet under. Now, I'm not of either of those sentiments, but I'm telling you right now, we see the environment that his name is bringing to the populace of the boxing community, both casual and hardcore. This could be something that maybe Tank ain't really want to be about. Because, and again, I'm speculating now from the perspective of me, from the perspective of me as a fan, hopefully as a reputable pundit, if you can call me that. Hopefully you can. I hope and pray you can call me that and think that I'm resourceful or a useful resource. But with my speculative opinion, there's a real opportunity that the psyche of Tank may not want to deal with all of this going on, to where the brother is, like, remember when he said he can't lose because his pride won't let him. He doesn't want to get clowned. He doesn't want to get derailed from the sense of he doesn't want to be made fun of. He don't want people talking bad about him. He don't want people making memes about him like they were making when he knocked out Frank Martin, or when he knocked out Gamboa, or when he knocked out any of his 30 or 29 victims in his career that he's beaten by KO. How he's gone and clowned other people, how he's gone at people, how he's gone and been about as a catalyst to cause somebody else's reputation to be made fun of. I put you to sleep. You ain't nothing. Rah, rah, rah. This, that, and the third type of situation. And what his fans themselves have propagated, what they have caused, what they have essentially created as an environment, or to help further create the environment, rather, of a loss is worse than anything else in the world. He doesn't want to be on that end of the spectrum because of the ridicule that would come into play. He said that himself. But now, the ridicule is here. The ridicule is here. The very thing that Tank didn't want to happen. If he had lost, now it's happening even without a blemish or without a loss on his record, though he got a draw. And he's getting the brunt of, again, what even with as bad as this is only, which is crazy enough to say, I dare say a third or half of truly how bad it's going to be if something goes awry for the rest of this man's career. Genuine. Because you gotta understand, this isn't Mike Tyson losing to Buster Douglas from the standpoint of the indomitable force gets beat by a relative unknown, and next thing you know, oh my gosh, the shock, the greatest upset potentially in sports history, let alone the greatest upset we've ever seen in boxing. That is all well and good. Absolutely. But the sting of that loss wasn't the same of what it did and what the reputation was of Tyson. Versus now we're taking, again, we can talk about the absolute spiral of insanity that Tyson was going off in his career. I have no question about it. But he was still a figure that I dare say, outside of Muhammad Ali, was one of the most well-known figures in the world when he was at his peak. And Sugar Ray Robinson. Again, the three Mikes of the 90s. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and Mike Tyson. Literally those three, at least in the States and honestly globally, were three of the biggest entities, not just people, entities that this world had to offer. They were known in the same breath as presidents. They were known in the same vein as international celebrities. Michael Jackson, you don't need to say anything more. Don't forget Jackson. I forgot. Yeah, Action Jackson. No, they were four. My bad. My apologies. The dominant three were those three. But yeah, we'll throw Action Jackson there as well. But like all of it is the thing I'm getting at is the reputation of Mike when he lost is not where we're looking at with Tank, though Tank is again a huge figure. That loss, what it was to Mike, is not going to be is not the same equivalent, because that was more so wait. Goliath fell, the giant has fallen, the baddest man on the planet that genuinely was feared by most people across the world and unease every time he walked into a room, he got beat. I can't believe it. More than just, we want to see it happen. And so it's like, oh my gosh. It wasn't clowning, or it wasn't as much clowning, though I'm sure he got, his fair share of disdain after that loss, but it wasn't as much clowning Mike as it was, we never thought you would get beat. Like it's like, it's like if Michael Jordan lost in the finals, or Bill Russell if he had lost within that 8 straight championship winning streak. Yes, he inevitably lost, but he was 11-1. I dare say even that loss was shocking all. Because at that point, nobody was beating Boston. Nobody was beating Boston. Not a soul was beating Boston. Golden State losing to Cleveland. That type of situation, there's no way, even as great as LeBron is, it's hard-pressed to see anybody go through and actually be able to beat that version of the Warriors, who broke, again, Michael Jordan's 96 Bulls record. One of the greatest offenses we had ever seen, and also was a top 5 defense that year. Had everything possible you could ask for in a chemistry-driven team. With talent, height, length, defense, shooting, bench play. He had it all. And for them to lose to LeBron was like, I can't believe this happened. One, the greatness of LeBron, sure, but also just the shock of there's no way somebody could beat that team. It didn't look like it. Get it that. Tank, it's not going to be that shock and awe of just we couldn't believe it. It's going to be we're waiting on it, or many people are waiting on it. And it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, oh my goodness. Let me keep on reading with Bo. We got people in the chat. Hold on. Wait a second. Al Booger. I almost forgot. Good to see you. If I didn't say hi before, hi again. Appreciate you coming in on the show. We're so glad that you're here with us on today. Josh Prom, what's going on with you as well? Thank you for tuning in. We're so happy you're here with us on this Thursday. No, so I'm sorry. On this Friday afternoon. And don't forget, like we do every Friday, if you're new to the channel, every Friday, the whole show is the championship rounds. That's right. You all drive the conversation. You all drive the discourse. We have points that we're going to touch on. We got points of the show. We still make a show, absolutely, but we make it so that for the entirety, we ain't going to do a last segment to go through and let you change the topic. We go through and let y'all control the whole thing of the show. Whatever you want to talk about, movie, sports, television, video games, boxing, NBA, NFL, sports, and if I can talk about the sport. I can talk about the sport and we can see what goes on. But we want to let you all always drive the conversation. Be respectful now. Hey, we ain't trying to, hey, don't be coming up here doing nothing crazy. But it's y'all's opportunity to have yourself be the ship that sails across what this show's going to be. So let's see what you got as we're going through. But again, while you're getting your questions together, we are just shooting the breeze, having genuine conversations specifically about the future, in-ring future. Because again, we're not trying to beat a dead horse, but this is a too big of a news situation to not delve into. I'd be a fool as a content creator not to. But I also need to understand for the in-ring future, in-ring, not outside the ring, in-ring future, what this whole drama-laden event is going to do going forward for Tank in a negative light. Because I think it is going to be in a negative light. Because there's more to it than just this is a bad sentiment. There's more to it than just people are getting tired of Gervonta Davis and are actively saying, hey, I want this man beat. I want to forget about him by any means necessary. It's getting to a point where he's also backed into a corner. Also, hold on, this is the wrong thing. This is another topic though. Roach versus Cruz. Can Roach win? We're gonna touch on that because we still got other fights that we gotta cover on this show. This is gonna be one of them. But again, this is the question, the topic at hand for now. Till y'all change, till y'all give your comments. But it's bigger than just people just don't want to see Tank fight. It's that people are understanding now. Oh, where Tank can go is indeed in a very reclusive standpoint. He's literally backed into a corner, like what he's able to do with every other fighter. Because the movement that he's allowed now has continued to dwindle day after day after day after day, week after week, month after month. Fans are getting sick and tired not seeing that ability put on display against the best of the best. And especially now, with all this stuff going about, it's like, hey man, if you do choose to fight again, there's no wiggle room to say, oh yeah, you can just do whatever you want. I've been saying this for multiple times, but this is a conversation that keeps coming up because it's a conversation that keeps on getting more egregious. And it needs to be stated so we can put a reminder that, hey, what he used to be able to get away with as a boxer in the ring, because of his outside antics, he can no longer get away with anymore. Genuine. With the incompetent level of competition that he's been facing relative to where his own skill set is right now in the boxing world. At least to me, that's my perception. Before I continue, let me keep on reading you all's chats. Tank just needs some serious mental work treatment. And again, we touched on that yesterday. If he does get the help he needs, which does seem like he needs it, feels like he said himself, he won't be able to be the monster that he is in the ring. But I'd rather him get the help than go and self-destruct. No question. But if he is going to stay, if he is going to be still in the midst of this whole fight game, he's not going to leave. And all this stuff keeps on happening. Well, then we got to look at it. We got to be real. Inside the ring, where is this going to take him? And I'm going to tell you, it's going to take him into a very narrow place. Because fans aren't going to accept anything less, especially with all this going on, than the biggest fights out there. Because that's the only thing, one, keeping them relevant. And two, now it's no longer your name is carrying that you don't need anybody else. It's not the case no more. You're no longer too big for anybody else to deal with. You're no longer too big of a name for somebody to say, oh, you don't earn the right to fight me. You're no longer too big of a name to have yourself be put on a pedestal so high that nobody else in any division can get to you, lest you grace them with your presence and the opportunity to fight me. Because I'm the money man. I'm the man with the bag. I'm the dude that you are trying to reach. I'm the cash cow type of situation. Now, he's still a cash cow. Sure, he still is one of the bigger people with money. But my gosh, he is not in the same state where he is needed nearly as fervently. And all of this stuff is further decaying that type of pedestal. Am I happy? Yes. Not because of the situation, but because now this puts Tank into, again, I'm not happy because of what's coming out. But what I am happy for in ring, solely in ring, is that we're getting a sense of breaking out of the cocoon that Tank is the division. We're going to be honest, that's what's been, to some degree, making the divisions, both at 140 and at 135, stagnant. Because of the fact that Tank was the division for most people. And now we're breaking out of that cocoon, thankfully. Also, Bodega, what's going on, brother? Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you're here with us. And welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here. We got an action-packed show. Again, it's still the championship rounds. We want to see what y'all got to say. Oh, Lord, is right. Because I'm telling you, man, it's a mess. It's a mess and a half. It's a mess and a half that we got to go through and try to nitpick with. All with try to cut our way through the weeds of exactly what's going to go down. Because it's a, oh Lord, it's a lot. Let me see, it's terrible. People really don't like when men put their hands on women regardless of the reason. No, you're absolutely right. And again, I'm trying to say we cover the outside ring sentiments. I absolutely agree. With that being said, in ring, all of that, all of the frustration, all of the throwing your hands up in the air, oh my gosh, not again. Everything is making fans get antsy, agitated, and very much frustrated. Not just with the sentiment, but it's also with, hey man, you doing all this stuff and we're not even getting the fights that we want to see you in. And we don't want to defend you to say that, oh yeah, you can take on anybody anymore. Off the backs of also the Lamont Roach loss, now it's like, hey, brother, people are going to start, and again, speculative, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of, as a fan, what I see fans do, how I see fans talk. They're going to start putting webs together, connecting dots, whether they're there or not, to come up with a reason to call you out on some mess. We see it all the time. When it's fake, let alone when it's real. Right now, they're going to be connecting dots of, hey man, all this stuff and you ain't going to fight Shakur. You and all this stuff to keep yourself out of the eye so you can actually take a payday and get out. Because you don't want that smoke. You don't want that type of war. When are you going to fight them? I'm speaking from the mindset of what other fans are saying, and the pattern that we normally see with how they put stuff together, if whether valid or not, to come up with a reason to call you out and to use it against you. We've seen that done with fans all the time. But normally Tank was able to abstain from that ability, from the standpoint of he never was in the crosshairs. Normal. Of recently, however, he's been, and even more than just recent, it's been consistent. And his cachet is drying up. His value is drying up. His notion as the sun that the division revolves around, now it's getting to a point where it is being seen as false. Just like when we found out that the earth is not the center of the universe. It's like when we found out that the planets don't revolve around us, but we revolve around the sun. All of a sudden, people are coming to that same conclusion of the 135-pound division. Wait a minute. We're dealing with a buddy who got all this drama, who ain't even fight the top competition, who just tried to cherry pick and got a draw, and now is in a worse situation we've ever been in when it comes to alleged actions of what he's done with his life. Again, alleged. I'm saying alleged. And we put our pride, hope, our legitimate dreams in this man, and we just let the hype of he's gonna do it or he doesn't need to do it because he's already got it delude us to the point that now we willingly did not want him to do anything great. And now the only way that we want to see, that many people want to see him continue now in terms of fighting, is to do something great. But they now too late to the party. But they're now coming to the realization, oh, he's never going to do it. He's a repeat offender, both outside and inside the ring. With this latest situation, again, being alleged, he's not going to do it. I waited and I let the hype drive me to delusion. I didn't see what was in front of me that, oh, this man, he's never going to do the great things that we think he can do. Because, yes, it's always something, both outside the ring and, for the topic of this conversation, inside the ring. And most of the time, there's a hindrance that he's willingly saying, it's all right, I'm Tank. The same thing that happened with Canelo, which, again, were very different situations. Not nearly as egregious from the standpoint of what he did outside with his personal life. I get that. I'm not comparing that. But from the same sentiments we've been saying about Canelo, when he was saying, I don't need David Benavidez. I don't need to take on those big names. I already have a legacy. Now, he did have a legacy. Yes, he did. He did have big names on his resume. Yes, he had. But David Benavidez, as the core opponent, the main antithesis of what the public wanted to see and still wants to see, the rival, the non-negotiable in your career once you hit 168, and you never gave him a shot. You never even tried to fight him. And now, it is going to be held against you. For Tank, at least in the States, I can't say abroad, but in the States, this man wasn't held accountable for his in-ring work. And now, because of his outside antics and outside actions in the ring, people are now starting to wake up. Oh, shoot. What have I been supporting? What's really going on with Tank in his career? What have I actually been advocating for? And why am I supporting this man? He's a knockout artist. Yes. Fun and exciting. Yes. Incredibly intelligent as a fighter. Yes. But where's the substance that drives the consistency of greatness? Where's the substance? And there ain't none. And it's a shame that it's taking this type of deplorable action to get that type of realization. It's a shame. Again, the first great awakening was the third alleged domestic violence case that happened, crazy enough, this year. Crazy enough, it happened this year. It's like, what, the third time? A couple of months ago. Now again, case got dropped, absolutely. But that was a third of like a string of like 8 over the course of a 10-year period. In a situation where, and at that point, you have big people being like, oh no, yeah, I can't support this brother no more. Now it's crossing the line. Now I got to draw a line in the sand. Which, hey, credit to him, fine. But even after the case got dropped, yes, for that specific instance, the lingering effects of it, hey, I got to stop supporting this dude. I got to wake up to what the reality is. I can't support a woman beater. Fine, absolutely. But then when the case got dropped, guess what? The lingering effects of, I'm in a rage. Why did I support this man? Looking into Tank's career, all of a sudden, it clicked. And suddenly the support ain't been that strong since then. Because people just needed a reason to look into the weeds. But they were lied to about how everything's sunshine and roses. But and when it was told about what was going on, they did not want to listen. Again, we're talking about in-ring production with Tank and why the inability to hold him accountable by the fans. What's going on? The beauty of the knockouts, the beauty of the highlight reel, the culture that he put on. It's great. Everybody loved it. They bought into it. And Tank is somebody who is it is a unique sense of infatuation. There's not many people that can bring a type of hype to the sport than Tank Davis. That's just the truth. He does have an it factor. However, that it factor still has to be backed by something. But the public did not, and I'll be straight up as well. The media also did not do its due diligence to put into perspective the lack of consistency when it came to achieving greatness in the context of in the ring. And the fans, when they did have it brought up against them, labeled everybody as a hater, labeled everybody as a bum, labeled everybody, you don't know the sport, you don't support your black brothers and sisters, type of ignorant mess. Making it about race, making it about, oh, you a threat to your own culture type of situation, making all this stuff to hide the fact that there was a truth right in front of them of what, in fact, they were not willing to see. That Tank is never going to be great because he doesn't want to be great. And it took beating your woman, allegedly, and now kidnapping your ex-girlfriend, allegedly, to all of a sudden get people to actually look at the career of this man. And again, those are way bigger issues. And we touched on them yesterday. The outside the ring topics. We're touching on in-ring now. And the future of Tank Davis in the ring. I started this whole spiel off with it's strict because it is strict. Because we're looking at a situation where people now, his own fans, are doing what a fan should actually do. It's a shame it took this long. It's a shame the lengths of outside deplorable antics that had to happen to get them to realize this and to get them to speak up, to get them to talk, to get them to have a voice, to get them to get a backbone, and to get them to work their way into being an actual fan of the sport, let alone just of a fighter. And even if it's just of a fighter, to hold them accountable and hold their feet to the fire. Where's Shakur? Where's Abdullah Mason? Where's Floyd Schofield? Where's Richardson Hitchens? Where's Teofimo Lopez? Where's the rematch of Ryan Garcia? Where's Devin Haney? Where's the substance to your career? Where's the undisputed title? Where's the unified title? Where's the lineal title? Why have you only defended your belt one time? Why are you fighting Jake Paul? Why are you even entertaining Jake Paul? Why did you even go and have this fight as an option? We're getting them to wake up. We have been saying all this stuff for years. Yeah, at least on this channel for 2 years. At least a year and a half. Like I said, I'm young. I'm new. I'm new. But I won't say we. I'll say me. From the standpoint, I'm not going to touch on and put words in other people's mouths. I'm not going to do that. Podcasters, hosts, shows, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say me. Hold myself accountable. I have been saying Tank has no legacy. I have been saying Tank has no substance. I have been saying Tank has been nothing but a stain on this sport. Not because his talent isn't worth the requisite excitement and hype, but because of the inability for him to prove it against the people that we want to see if you're actually as bad as you are. Taking cherry picks. Your best win is Ryan Garcia and or Pedraza. You beat Little Santa Cruz, which is phenomenal, but you brought him up in weight. You didn't even want to fight Pedraza when you fought him to took the belt because you felt you were getting set up. Don't forget you fought Gamboa on a torn Achilles. You still beat him, but he tore his Achilles in that same fight, and he was washed up at that point in time, but you still beat him. Then you could have fought Lomachenko for a point in time, and you never went about to even attempt to go after the title. You had enough cash and you could have even tried to fight Teofimo Lopez when he beat Lomachenko. You still never did it. You had Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teo, and you all in the same division, and you still ain't do a doggone thing, and everybody was saying that you were too big for it. Devin Haney went undisputed before you did, and everybody was saying that you were the baddest brother at 135, and people were putting you without a belt, without a title, without any accolades, as pound for pound top 5 in the world, and some people had you as the best fighter in the world, above Noya Inoue, above Terrence Crawford, above Tyson Fury, above even Anthony Joshua at that point in time, above doggone Usyk, Archie Benavidez, David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez at that point in time. People were having all those conversations. It's an insane mess that was being discussed, and it was all for the talent. The talent is so great. The talent is spectacular. The talent is all world. The talent is top 5. The talent, he's the best natural boxer in the game. People were having those types of conversations. Oh, I remember. Pound for pound, yeah, you got the number one being at one point in time Canelo, or at one point in time Terrence Crawford, sure. But as a talent, everybody was saying, oh no, the real best fighter in the game is Tank Davis. There was a litany of people pushing that agenda, and it was getting bought in. It was getting bought in left, right, and center. I said almost over a year and a half, I was trying to tell y'all, you are supporting a man who has yet to have a bigger win than Ryan Garcia in his career. Not that that is a bad win, but that should not be the height of your career at 29 years old with 30 fights on your resume. It shouldn't be the case. Now he's 31, with 31 fights on his resume. It shouldn't be. It should not be the. It should not be the case at all. But people let it slide, and it took what broke yesterday in the news about Tank Davis, the alleged kidnapping and assault of his ex-girlfriend, alleged, but of a slew of upwards of 6 to 8 instances that have happened throughout his career. And this is the one that finally broke the camel's back to get people to see, wait a minute, wait a second. Who is it that I'm actually vibing with, both in and outside the ring? The truth's been there in front of y'all the entire time. All the time. We've been trying to push y'all to praise people that are actually substantive. In a way, deserves that type of hype. Crawford should have been deserved that type of hype way sooner than he got it when he beat Canelo. Usyk just now got his deserved flowers, and doggone it, he earned them. But brother, he should have been viewed as that after he beat AJ twice. And then do what? Beating 2 of the 3 biggest names in the division at that point in time, and only 5 fights at heavyweight. Dave Benavidez, with his dominance at 168, should have been viewed as more than Tank Davis. A whole host. Junto Nakatani should have had more hype. Ben Rodriguez is 24 years old. He is already an undisputed champion, beating legends, knocking people out, and he's fighting 2 or 3 times a year. He just knocked out Kafu, walked him down for 8 rounds before putting him to sleep, rocking all around the ring like he's on a doggone roller coaster. One of the most exciting fighters in the world, not division, the world. Pound for pound. And he's 24. Brian Norman Jr. is 24 and he's a legitimate champion. Knocked out Stanley, knocked out Jin Sasaki. 2 knockouts of the year is now fighting Devin Haney. On the cusp of what could potentially be the biggest win and the catalyst to put this man as one of the faces of American boxing. If he doesn't accomplish this, the world can potentially be his oyster. And it should be deserved that he gets talked about as such. But all of them got overshadowed by one man because of a machine-built hype. And a talent that was indeed there, but a substance that was nothing but an illusion. Tank Davis. He's been holding the division hostage with his name. He's been holding the division hostage with his hype, with his aura, with his money. Because his very existence in the division, not just downplayed, his very existence in the division, not just made it so that it was seen that is the biggest man to get, not the undisputed champion, not beating Devin Haney, not beating Lomachenko, not cleaning out the 4 kings in boxing, but beating Tank was the end-all be-all. It wasn't just that, but it's the fact that his existence made everybody else's accolades get downplayed unfairly by the public simply because they weren't him. But they didn't put the other side of the equation. He ain't beating them. You get to, if you were here, we were talking about Tank versus Lomachenko. Not Tank versus Lomachenko. Who was it? Boots. Not Tank versus Lomachenko. We were talking about Boots. I'm sorry. I'm running through the names at 135. I apologize. We were talking about Boots and his versus Stanionis at 147. We were saying, if you were here, we were talking about how that fight The question was, is Boots already the best fighter at 147? At the division, once Crawford left, is he the king of 147? Does he wear the crown there? I said I think he's the best fighter at 147. There's nobody that beats him, in my opinion, as a talent. He is the creme de la creme. And with all the belts scattered, it was what it was. And we were saying on this very channel, hey, don't crown him yet. Why? Because he hasn't beaten the other person who can also have a rightful claim to the throne and has a belt. Though his talent is worthwhile, no question, he's got to prove it and beat this brother Stanionis for undisputed. Or for unified. He does that. Then you have no issue with me saying that he's the best 147 pounder in the world. That was a consensus that we came to here on this channel. And when he beat him, guess what we said? Okay, that's the best 147 pounder. Unified, beat a legitimate champion. The talent is up to that level that, yes, it's clear cut above the rest. You still got threats like Brian Norman Jr., but this was the litmus test to validate what we were saying about Boots. Should he still fight Norman? Yes. But where it stands right now, we are okay with putting that moniker on him because he did enough work to earn that title. It was logical. It was, y'all talked me into it. It made sense. Everything worked out accordingly. You know why? Because the substance was there. Somehow, some way, we were able to do that with Boots. We were able to do that with Boots in us. There was an argument that everybody was very much behind the 8 ball with what he was accomplishing as a fighter and at that point in time. But even still, we came to that conclusion, but we couldn't come to that with, not we, but the public couldn't do that with Tank Davis. Somehow, some way. Now all of a sudden they're trying to do it. And it's like, well, it's too late now. You messed up. You messed up. You messed up, and it's too little, too late, and it's a shame. Again, I'm not trying to rant, but it's just like we y'all. It shouldn't have taken this instance to get you thinking about this. It shouldn't have. It should not have taken you this much of a violent action and a violent turn of events, allegedly, to get you to think this way about this fighter, Tank. Yet you did. And if you had done it before, guess what? We wouldn't be in the situation of having Tank fighting Jake Paul at all. At all. At all. If you hadn't waited until the worst possible time to finally change your mind on what you felt about what Tank has done and what he is as a fighter in the ring. Because what he is as a person in many people's eyes was so bad because of what he, again, allegedly had done, that now it bled into, oh, we got to look at the actual fighter now. And it's frustrating. I'll say that. It's frustrating, to say the least. Gosh. It is, oh, Lord. It shouldn't have taken this. It should not have taken this. That's all I can say. It shouldn't have taken this to get to this conclusion. Yet we're here now, for better or for worse. But let me see. Malik K, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Let me get back to reading y'all's comments. I apologize for teeing off like I did. It's bottled up inside, man. I gotta get it out somehow. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Let's make sure we don't miss nobody. Fans say y'all don't care about tanking his career and he don't fight nobody, but y'all love covering everything up about him. I don't. You can speak for other people. We don't do that on this channel. Again, we try to keep it as unbiased as possible. If I don't know something, then I don't know something. That's different. But everything I've said is based on what I know and what I've learned. And what's been divulged, excuse me. And so it's like, We aren't trying to hide stuff. Because that defeats the purpose of trying to have actual discourse. If you don't got the whole context, if you don't have the whole story, and you don't get as much of a picture as possible, at least as much as you are able to do, then you defeat the purpose of actually having a conversation. Because you're hiding a portion of relevant information that adds further context to whatever we're discussing. So we don't do that, especially with Tank or with anybody. We've called out Canelo. We've called out Tyson Fury. We've even called out in a way to make sure he stays with the course that he was going to do with him wanting to fight Junto Nakatani. Since he said he wanted to go that route, we don't care who. We try to keep it a bean as much as we can. And so it's fresh. Let me see the Lamont Network. Hey man, appreciate you coming on. I love your content. Keep going. Hey, I appreciate it. Hopefully, I'm glad you're liking it. Hopefully, you keep on listening. I appreciate all of you being here with us on today. And it's just, it's insane. Let me see for sure. What's going on with you? How you doing? Appreciate you coming in on the live. Only way that Duck will fight Shakur or anyone else who can beat him is if they wear a Desikan wig. So take this. He's trying. See, you're wrong. See, you're wrong. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that.
We got some problems here.
You're wrong for that. And it's like, and it's very interesting how quickly everything turned on its head for him. Cause see, here's the thing. Like, it's not just with the outside stuff, but it's like a lot of the stuff he could have. A lot of the stuff that Tank's experiencing right now is indeed self-inflicted. This ain't the fans turning on him, though there are many that are, but it's due to the fact of his own actions that did this. And it's like this all could have been avoided. It all could have been avoided. Let me see. Man 20. What's going on, brother? Flatbush. How you doing? Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for coming in on the live. We're so happy that you're here with us on the welcome back. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Hopefully you like what we got going on. Absolutely. Let me see. A man that never been a champion, Ryan Garcia. Yep, absolutely. A majority of his fights were against Espanol. I mean, they were against. I mean, he has fought a good chunk of Mexican fighters, which again is great. No problem with that. Stylistically, hey, they always make for good fights. And there come forward fighters, which, hey, it does work best in the style of what Tank likes to fight. Like, no, I'm not saying it still is a guaranteed loss. Tank is just that good. Yeah, he's able to beat him. But, yes, he has beaten a whole bunch of Mexican fighters. That's not to say anything about anybody. Because most people that he beat, yes, they were good. But where we know Tank is, that level should have been elevated immensely. Yet it never was. That's the problem. No matter, I don't care what sect of people or style that you're fighting. We care about the level now. Once you're at that top, and if you're talking that talk, well, you got to work like you need to work. And he ain't been working. He just ain't been working. It's so frustrating, but he ain't been working. He just ain't been working. And the people that are working just ain't getting the shine. They deserve to have shine. And it's I got a headache. Because this thing got me so hot. It just had me so hot. But like I said, we're not gonna turn this into a Tank show. But just with the future of Tank, like with the first topic of this championship rounds dedicated show. That's my opinion on the future. It ain't looking bright. It's a cone. Because he is now only going to be he's only going to be wanted as a big-time fighter to fight other big-time fighters. And fans now are finally going to do their due diligence to not support and not be an enabler of Tank avoiding competent work off the backs of the whole outside the ring fiasco. Now inside the ring, you don't have the same level of slack that you did just because of your name alone. Because we now recognize the division does not revolve around you, and we now recognize that if you don't do something, it won't really matter. So if you want to be relevant, you better do something, or else, like I've said all the time, once Tank leaves this sport, he will be forgotten to time. Because there's no legacy to leave behind that has people wanting to watch him. Or rather, that has people wanting to laud him and hold him up as a high standard. Because he is just there. He's a blip. He's there for a good time, not a long time. And he ain't been doing a bunch in this good time. So, when he's gone, guess what? We won't miss him. Many won't miss him. The world, the sports world, won't miss him from the standpoint of a boxer. Because notice, as long as Tank has been out the picture of a relevant, competent level of competition, what's transpired since he's been out the sport? Schofield knocked out Tevin Farmer. Shakur beat up William Zepeda. Shakur got a knockout against Josh Padley. Got a knockout, period. We never expect to see that. And everybody else has moved up and moved on. Devin Haney's fighting Brian Oman Jr. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fought against each other. Rolly Romero just burned himself a title. Manny Pacquiao came back and nearly beat Mario Barrios. Now, I think he should have beat Mario Barrios. Insanity. Insanity. Boots is now at 154. Brian Norman is on the cusp of becoming one of the hottest names in the globe. Anyway, and Nakatani are getting ready to fight each other. Usyk is getting ready to fight Wardley. And potentially in a couple of years going to fight Atal. Atal is coming up as a great potential heavyweight. Divisions are moving and shaking in a manner that has everybody excited and engaged. And Tank is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Which is a beautiful thing because now it makes it so that, we're realizing we don't need the brother. His future is not our future. See the difference? It used to be that his future was the future. It used to be that his future was what set the tone, at least in America, for what boxing was going to be like. Outside of Canelo. Again, I'm only speaking for in the States. I can't speak for outside the opinions of what the other countries and other nations may have had in regards to the boxing world and landscape. I have an idea, but I'm not going to speak on it. For the States specifically, where I'm from, he was an international star, still is, and he was, for the States, the pulse for what boxing was. Turn on First Take. If they ain't talking about nothing else, they're talking about Tank if they ever talk about boxing. When they rarely do talk about boxing. Crazy enough, they had an actual boxing commentator on their team in Max Kellerman, who Stephen A. gave the axe to. Genuinely, he was the reason why Max Kellerman is off the air. And was out of television for who knows how long. Up until he came back with the ring. They could have been at the forefront of this resurgence with ESPN if they'd actually kept him around. But that's a whole other story. Regardless of which, everything revolved around him. Everything revolved around, are you going to fight Tank? Are you going to fight Tank? Hey, I'm an undisputed champion. What do you mean am I going to fight Tank? What do the world? Why am I secondary in my own interview? It's a shame, but it's the truth of the matter. Now the boxing world has had Tank gone. And we took a breath away, and all of a sudden we're saying, you know what? The day is looking mighty bright. That sun is looking mighty good. I forgot what it looked like. You know why? Because I was staring at dirt for the past 4 years. I ain't even attempt to clean my window because I said, it's a good window. It doesn't need to be kept up. It doesn't need to be replaced. Now, when I finally did it, my gosh, I can't believe what I was missing. Look at all the divisions that are doing some good stuff here. Man, when did boxing turn into this legitimate level of competent working mechanisms? Could have fooled me. Everybody stopped calling out Tank, so I thought that people just ain't want to fight no more. Because Tank now isn't the sun. He's not the center of the universe. Everybody's better for us. It's thankfully, we off it now, and we can continue to move on and watch the boxing world continue to evolve and become better and better. So I love it, absolutely. But as we keep on going through, again, it is still the championship rounds. I still want to hear your questions and comments on whatever you want to discuss in the world of boxing and beyond. Your thoughts, your opinions, all of that. We want to hear from you. But as we keep on going through, we do need to discuss other topics of discussion that we have, at least on the docket, that we can cover. Like with Roach versus Cruz. Ooh, we got a fight coming up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yes, sir. We here, we live. Also, yo, Teddy Berkshire, I ain't see it. What's going on, man? How you doing? We trying to get this chat. We did the chat box going a little bit in and out, but I think we got it good now. Just took a bit of a processing power. We good now. We okay. But how you doing, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in on the show right now. We going through and we get ready to discuss Roach versus Eastside Cruz, delving into the world of can Roach beat him. Now, I get the assumed nature of Roach being the guy to take out Eastside Cruz with this fight, again, being at 140. Because, again, it's insane. It's great. It's phenomenal. It's going to be the biggest litmus test to see whether Roach is worth the hype. Well, not even hype. Worth the standing that people hold him in after his fight with Tank Davis. Because let's be honest, we're still off the backs of saying this is a fight that with Roach and Tank. Roach was a cherry pick. That's the truth. Roach was a 130-pound champion, but he was a 130-pound champion. Tank had no business bringing up somebody for 135. And it turns out, oh my gosh, it is a cherry pick gone wrong, and everything went bad. Now, what didn't get his rematch with Roach that he should have? Tank did the same thing to Eastside Cruz as well, but he still. Now Roach is on the precipice of, I got to make my own way. Going the old David Benavidez route and making his own path of a legacy, now with the winds of change behind him as a fighter, potentially pushing him forward. Going up against him is one of the bigger threats to his momentum in Eastside Cruz. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Pitbull is not a joke. If you think Pitbull is an easy fight, you are sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. You may think you can outbox him, but you will not get out of Dodge without getting pieced up in some way, shape, or form. And if you start getting pieced up, you might not be able to stop. Because this cat will be relentless. Completely and utterly visceral in his willingness to come get you. So I want to see what you all feel about how this fight's going to go, because I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on all of it. And also, Teddy Berkshire, we family here. Yes, we are. I'm happy y'all are here with us today. Again, please keep on liking the stream. We broke a record. I think we got the second most likes on the show on yesterday with 30 on an episode. Insanity. But since for a live stream as it was going through, let's see if we can break it. I think the record's like 45. Let's see if we can break it. Let's see if we can get people in on the stream. So get the likes up, get your chats up, share the show, tell people what we got going on, and let's keep on with the action. Absolutely. But let me keep on reading you all's comments. Roach puts Pitbull on a leash. Now, this is interesting. So you think he's going to be able to outbox him? I can definitely see it with the way he's able to handle himself against Tank. Yeah, you would assume Roach or Eastside Cruz would be potentially a more manageable type of threat when compared to the talent level. We do understand that. But it is the style that I'm concerned with when it comes to Eastside Cruz versus Roach. How does Roach deal with unrelenting pressure? Building with somebody like he did with Tank, yes, works out flawlessly. And it was an incredible game plan. Perfect game plan to fight against Tank. Don't give up all your cards. You just go and you build with Tank as he gets more active. You get more active. And then by the time y'all both plateau, okay, boom, you're on an even plane. It worked out phenomenally. But Eastside Cruz is complete. It's a complete opposite of Tank. I don't care about your game plan. I am going to try to blow through whatever type of game plan you're trying to make for me. Regardless, and you know what I'm going to bring to the table. I'm going to hook you to death. I'm going to go catch and shoot, block and walk in, and then boom, heavy shots loading up. I'm putting everything into it, but my punches are coming 100 miles an hour. I will break through your guard if I got to. I don't care. If you stay on the inside, you will get touched in some way, shape, or form. And the best way to do it is to make them miss and make them tire out by swinging and missing drastically. But my gosh, that's hard to do because the brother just won't stop coming forward. He just won't stop coming forward, which is akin to the name, Pitbull. This is going to be a completely different fight from the fight with Tank Davis. And it could be something to where that type of relentless pressure on the inside. Oh, woo. It might be rudimentary, but man, it can be a threat. It can be a threat, but I want to see what you all got to say. Adam, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. What you got to say on the matter? Roach has to be on his toes all day. He does. But see, here's the thing. Is Roach a on-toes type of fighter? Roach is more of a plotter than anything. Now, even when he fought Tank, I mean, he moved, yes, but it wasn't like the Lomachenkos or the Shakurs or, the Majimovs or the Shukajans and those of the like. His best ability when he was fighting Tank was to sit down. You step out when big stuff come, but then you slowly work your way back inside, block, parry, slight slip, block, uppercut, right hand, then go back to blocking again. You might eat a shot in a tray, but you still do it. But he wasn't moving really against Tank, and he ain't really been a mover for the entirety of his career. From the standpoint of being able to fight, on his toes, actively, shooting that jab with his length, being able to go through and change angles. I'm not saying he's a bad boxer, but stylistically, it's not his game. That's why I don't think he's gonna be that. Oh, keep your distance and move around. I don't think that's gonna be what we see Lamont do, or at least sustaining in his game plan to do, because that's, in my opinion, that's too far away from what we know Roach is as a boxer. He's a buddy that he wants to get busy. He can be patient, absolutely. And he's got enough reach that he can give people some trouble, or at least shorter fighters trouble. But at the same time, he ain't trying to keep you at bay. He wants to push you back. Like he did against Tank. He wanted to push Tank back, force Tank on the back foot. And my distance comes from you being forced to back up because you don't want to get caught. And now I can work like I want to work because I'm moving you back. I'm moving you into a direction you don't want to be in. And I'm forcing you into a sentiment that makes you struggle, where you don't want to be on the back foot. Tank don't want to fight. Tank can fight on the back foot, but once he commits to coming forward, guess what? He doesn't want to fight backwards no more. Every fight, because he's trying to get the knockout. He has to, because of how he fights. He's either got to win every round after round 5, or get the knockout if he loses round 6 and all. Because that's what his game is predicated with. But when he's forced back, all of a sudden he ain't the same fighter. Or at least he's not nearly, he's not where he wants to be. Let me say that rather. Cruz don't want to move on the back foot, but he ain't going to give up ground unless you hurt that brother. If you come forward against him, guess what? He's going to be right there. If you come forward and you ain't trying to move back, guess what, brother? I'm like a rock. I'm shut it up. I'm here. What you going to do? Okay, boom, 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 boom. Just relentless. Boom to the body. Boom to the body. Again. Hooking again. Uppercut. Big hook again. Double hook. And I'm back to shelling up. And now we still in the center of the ring. That's what Eastside Cruz is going to be doing. Because he ain't moving back. He ain't moving back at all. And so I don't think this is going to be a fight where he's on the back foot. In terms of Lamont, I think he's going to keep a similar sentiment to what his style is and keep on trying to walk forward and make Eastside Cruz have to back up. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Also, real quick, Teddy Berkshire, hold on. Wait a minute. They saying Yard don't spar. You talk about don't spar for this fight? We were going to touch on Dave Benavidez later on in the show, but wait a second. You mean to tell me, time out, time out. Wait a minute. Like I said, this is why we made it to championship rounds. We want to make sure we can ebb and flow, and we can get back to topics as well. But we at least need to touch on this. Do you mean to tell me that that you're saying that you've heard that Anthony Yard has not sparred for this fight consistently? Now I remember seeing some videos of him in the gym working with his coach and all that stuff, but are you telling me that he ain't been sparring at all? Like legit sparring for this brother? If that's the case, then it further bleeds into the notion that this man really ain't training like he needs to train. That's why he's been at a plateau, because the brother ain't. Coach said himself, hey man, he teaches me stuff. I don't need to teach him anything. Well, that's why you ain't champion. That's why you ain't be Archibald BF. That's why with all that physical ability, you ain't been doing nothing. Again, if this is true, I'll look it up while the show goes on. But if this is true, well, let me see. That's okay. So Bodega's saying that's cap. He been sparring. Okay. So we got one report saying yes, one report saying no. It sounds very much far-fetched. I'm going to lean towards it sounds like it's cap, and I'm hoping and praying it is. I mean, they're saying he only hit weights and hits the heavy bag, and Benavidez said it's a mistake. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to keep on reading y'all's chats, but I'm going to look this up. And if I do find out this is true, because like I said, if we don't know, we're going to find out if we can. And if we don't find out, then we're going to say to be determined. We keep it easy. I ain't trying to put on a face. If I don't know something, I don't know something. But if this is true, and we're going to find out. Like, I know, Teddy Berkshire, I'm not saying you won't. I'm just saying I'm going to validate it while we're doing the show to make sure that this is true. If it's cap, fine, no problem. I hope it is, because I don't want this brother to not be training for David. If you ain't training for David Benavidez, well, you've already dug yourself a grave. That would be the stupidest thing in the world. I've heard rumors about what Anthony Yard has been doing in camp, but not sparring wasn't one of them. But we're gonna find out. Give me a couple minutes. Let me search while I'm reading the chat, and we're gonna find out. We're gonna find. David said he's sparring 3 or more fighters for 10 rounds. No, that I can imagine. He's been doing that a couple other times in his career as well. So I'm not doubting that. But let me keep on reading the chats. And so because we still got some people that had some input on the Roach question. But as I'm reading, I'm gonna look it up. We're gonna look it up. We're gonna find out. I guarantee you. We're gonna find out. I guarantee you that. But let me see, Adam. I just want to see how Roach does. Do we see? I want to see how Roach does do. We can see whether the Tank win was just a fluke or a bad matchup. And honestly, that's been a lot of people have been saying that is a real sentiment. We don't know if this is a consistent level of skill that Roach has, or if that win was just a fluke. Take Tyson and Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson was one of the biggest upsets in history. Yet, when he fought Evander Holyfield beat him in 3 rounds. I think less, actually. And knocked him out. And he never got remotely close to the title picture ever again. And he floundered along. Now, Tyson had his own pitfalls. Cocaine, partying all night, women, and whatnot. Didn't train for that fight. Similar to the rumors with Anthony Yarde, but didn't train. Didn't do his due diligence. Didn't work like he was supposed to work. And he got caught slipping. He even knocked him down while slipping. But he got knocked out and he got stopped. But just like with Buster, we don't know whether or not we're going to see if this cat really is worth the substance of hype until we see this fight. That's what a lot of people are saying. Now that win should tell you there's at least something there, because ain't nobody average just doing what he did to Tank. That's the truth also. But again, this is why I said this is the real litmus test. Because if he does come out on top and do good work as well, then he's legit. And I hope he is. Because if he does, that is another great name to a deep division. And that we want to see have fights. So I'm all excited for it. Let me see. Styles make fights. Lounging come forward style against a composed, smooth, slick fighter. Yeah, no, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. But will that composure get rattled by the pressure of Isaac Cruz from round 1? Because like I said, he built up with Tank, because Tank is a very slow starter. He had time to get comfortable. Yeah, it was still pressure all around, but he had time to again, shift gears slowly to rev up the engine of competition as Tank revved up. He's not going to have that time. He's not going to have that time. At least against Isaac Cruz. Isak's coming out. If it's like Isaac Cruz of his last 6 fights, Isak's coming out from round 1, going for the KO immediately. And that pressure ain't going to stop up until he gets gassed or until the fight's over, which won't be until round 9. I've seen this man keep up. Now, if you can take it till round 9, yeah, he's going to be something. Now, at that point, yeah, he's vulnerable. He even got stunned against who was that brother? Who was the cat? Is it Fierro? Was it Fierro that Isaac Cruz got stunned by? Later on in the fight, and it was called, I think it was called like a draw. No, Isaac Cruz won that fight, but it was a very close competitive affair on the undercard of Benavidez versus Morrell. And when he got winded, he was getting caught. When he got winded against Valenzuela had a better opportunity to go and work in a manner of technical, slick boxing. Whole lot easier. And Valenzuela was moving. I mean, that brother was moving, trying to avoid Isaac Cruz. And he was still getting pieced up until he inevitably pulled away. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. Let me see. I just think it's not going to work out well for Cruz. Hey, look, I'm with you. If we do see Roach be able to stay slick while staying stationary, because again, I think he's not going to be moving around as much. I think he's going to sit in the pocket with Isaac Cruz. And if he's able to do that and be effective, yeah, he can beat him. He can beat him. It's going to be hard, but he can beat him. I definitely think he can beat him. I definitely think he can beat him. Oh, and also, I appreciate the clarification. Bilingual as in multiple styles, not switch hitting. I was thinking you were talking about southpaw. But yes, bilingual, he can fight in, he can walk you down, he can be stationary, he can use his jab, he can be slick and defensive while, again, not needing to move. He can move, but it's not his best weapon. So I'm like, hey, he's multifaceted. You are right about that. You are right about that. But I just as much as I am confident in his skills, I really don't think that he's going to stray away from going into a fight with Isaac Cruz. I really don't. Not because, yes, he's smart, he's intelligent, all that stuff, but it's mainly because he, as a boxer, now that he took on Tank and he handled his ability against him, but that's the baddest puncher in the game right now at 135. If you can take on Tank in the pocket, but you would think you would take on you could take on anybody. Off the backs of that performance, it's like, hey man, I can do this. Anybody who tries to fight me on the inside, I can take it to him. Because I took it to this brother. And nobody takes it to Tank when it comes to infighting. Very few, if any at all. Nobody does it. Mid-range and infight, they don't do it. But if Tank was able to be food for me, I can do that same thing to Isaac Cruz. I really feel that's what he's thinking. If I need to move, yeah, I'll move. But I think I can handle myself. That's my thought process and what I can see Lamont Roach's identity being for this fight off of what he did in the past. At least, again, for my bench. Well, you may not agree, but just in my opinion, that's what I feel. That's what I feel. But real quick, I'm still looking up this Anthony Yard conversation. I'm making sure I'm typing. I'm looking. That's why you see me looking off screen, because I'm trying to talk and keep my thoughts together as well as being able to keep the show going. But let me try this real quick. I do hope we're gonna find out. We are going to find out. Let me see. Because the most recent thing I saw with him in sparring, as I pull it up on the old picture-in-picture, which is blank. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. Oh. There we go. This is the most recent thing I've seen in sparring in regards to Anthony Yard as a whole. And it was him October 14th messing around with this trainer. Having some fun, I guess. Yeah, having some fun going through and playing around. Yep. Wait, hold on, wait a minute, wait a second, hold on. He was doing all this posture. No. I'm sorry. I forgot that this is what happened in the clip. I had seen it, but brother, this man got slapped. If that happens against David Benavidez, this man's got to be in a world of trouble. Oh my God. Oh shoot. Oh man. Oh shoot. I forgot that happened at the end of the footage. But in terms of rumors, and this was October 9th, with him hitting the mitts. Now I'm not gonna lie, this is not the most impressive sentiment when it comes to looking at what this man is working to. Again, this clip is October 9th. The previous clip was October 14th. This is Anthony Yard in the footage I've been able to find on working in camp, training, mid-work. He might, again, it does look slow. I understand. It doesn't look like the most impressive thing. I understand. I would assume he's moving at this speed to go through the motions of understanding the combinations. And not all training has to be quick and boom, boom, boom. Some people think the best training is going and doing it in real time. Real time game speed is what you're trying to go for. Others think you can switch out the pace. You go through the motions first. You can go through and make sure you're thinking about the movements rather than trying to boom, go quick. So you make sure you are getting the technique right. It's a multifaceted ways of doing it. But some people are going to look at that and say, that don't look like something of an impressive note. And then, of course, you got Benavidez. This is September 10th. Benavidez sparring. And I'm gonna say, I am gonna say, as with me saying that about what I said with Anthony Yard in the mix, this ain't, hey, it's a different. I am gonna say it's a different level of intensity. I am gonna say there's a different level of drive. There's a more concerted effort of in-game conversation, of game speed. Now, I prefer the game speed thing. That's me. I think you train best when you train as if it's an actual fight. But in terms of the sparring thing, I'm looking for sparring. I am looking for clips involving sparring. In fact, let me change this. Let me change this. Let me get with a little bit of on the fly editing. Oh yeah, this is what y'all see, what y'all don't see behind the scenes. Yeah. Hold on. You get a little bit of an inside scoop to the one man band, baby, that I have. I think I spelled Anthony right. I hope I did. Lord willing, as they used to say, Lord willing, I got it right. Yeah, I think it's right. But yeah. So Anthony Yard and Benavidez, again, we're just delving through topics, talking through and going about it. It's Yard with the E. Yep, I forgot it's Yard with the E. It's not. It's you're right. I always get that confused. I always forget to put the E at the end of his name because I'm thinking it's Yard. Oh Lord, I almost want to say Yarday every time I see it, but I know it's pronounced Anthony Yard, so I just gotta get used to that name spelling. But either way, I think we should be good. David Benavidez, Anthony Yard. Well, it's the good we're gonna get. So we're gonna make it happen. Regardless of which. In regards to the sparring, I have not seen any sparring against active opponents by Anthony Yard thus far. Benavidez, however, this is in terms of against. Yeah, here it is. This is the most recent sparring footage against, or October 3rd, against actual active fighters. This is Benavidez in camp. Not that. Hold on, not that. There we go. This is Benavidez in camp with actual sparring partners, from what I've been able to find, posted by David Benavidez and their family on YouTube.
You don't have nothing to say. This is how legends are made. I know I got what it takes.
Every time David steps in the ring, I'm very concerned for the opponents. The sparring partners. But at the end of the day, we have to do it. These guys are taking a lot of punishment, but we gotta be at our best. November 22nd. This is a fight. It's not a sparring. You want to spar David? That's what you're gonna do. Either you get better or you're just gonna get hurt.
The feel in my veins, trust me, I'm making a name.
Woo!
We are not one and the same.
I tell you, I'm gonna turn the music down because I don't want to get copyrighted. I do want to make sure I don't get copyrighted. I hope I don't. I'm gonna keep it low. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. This
legends are
This
made. I know I got what it takes.
is the type of Benavidez that we know and
I'm
love.
very concerned for the
This is the
opponents.
Benavidez that looks
The
hungry,
sparring partners, at the end of the day, we have
ready,
to do it.
as always.
These guys are taking a
And
lot
as
of
you can see with the
punishment,
mentality in the
but
gym,
we gotta
hey,
be
if you
at our
don't,
best. November 22nd. This is a fight. It's not a
this
sparring.
ain't
You want to spar
sparring, we
David?
fight.
That's what you're gonna do.
Either you get better or you get beat. Plain and simple. And we going for it. And so like, I'm unlike that. I haven't been able to find anything with Anthony Yard in terms of sparring active opponents to give some semblance of in-ring feel of the opponent you're getting ready to face, or just an active live fight scenario. So I'm like, a little bit concerned, but let me keep on reading what y'all got to say. Let me see. Tunde Ajaya, Yard's trainer, has him on his usual program. They don't seek out a lot of outside names and spar guys of the domestic level. Okay, now again, granted, as I've said before, this is phenomenal information. There's a bunch of things, I'm as much as I try to know, there are a bunch of things that I may not know when it comes to the inner workings of boxing as a whole. There's other people that have better sources, that have better intel, that are able to be in these gyms that I'm not, so they are privy to some stuff that are more well known than me. Be sure, if I can't give you that information, please go seek out those other channels. Might be Champ Side, might be Showbiz, might be Blue Blood, whoever the world you see that has that type of information. Hey, look them up, find them, let them tell you. I can only give you what I know, and if I don't know something, I'm gonna put it up front. So I don't know the inner workings of Tunde and his training moniker. I have heard what he does in terms of the mentality. And I've heard what he said about Anthony Yard in terms of what he says he can teach him, which again, he has said, I don't need to teach him anything. He teaches me stuff. That's his words. That's a quote. So I can only go off of that. That's as much as I know. I'm trying to find out as much about it. But if this is the case, then hey, that's what they do. You don't go away from what works. I understand. I would, if I was to be a have input, I would hope that Anthony Yard would seek out somebody that's not local, that is above the domestic level, because it's going to take a really unique type of sparring circumstance to emulate what we see David Benavidez have in his tool belt. Because it ain't just going to be, I don't think low-level or domestic level fighters are going to be able to give you the experience or close to the experience of what a Benavidez is going to be. I just don't. That's just me. I just don't think it's going to work in that way. But we'll find out. And I ain't gonna speak against the trainer. He knows what his fighter does, and he's got a regime. I'm not gonna go out against it. But I'm gonna say, from an outside perspective, I do have some concerns if that is what he does. And that's what he's doing for this fight, at least, again, in my estimation. Which, again, I'm learning. Oh, we're all learning, so I appreciate it. Nonetheless, let me see. Tunde fighting with Malik Scott for... See, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say all that. Granted, I think Malik Scott, ain't he on inside the ring with Max Kellerman and all of them? So I'm like, yeah, maybe there's a reason why he's at the desk and not behind in the gym. But that's a whole other conversation. I ain't gonna do that. But let me see. I don't agree with his method, but to say Tunde doesn't have Yard sparring as well, okay, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Now that I know, I'm informed, I can change what I say. Yard, we can assume, is spar. I think you also said that he doesn't record his sparring, like sparring videos. Mid-work, yes, sparring. No, he doesn't record that and put that for people to see. Okay, fine. Understand. That's his method. That's what he does. I just don't think that this normal method is going to work. I don't think it's going to work. And to a degree, not even to a degree, I strongly feel, just for Anthony Yard as a whole, Yard ain't being pushed to evolve to be the fighter that we know he can be at his best at light heavyweight? I don't think so. I truly don't think so. Mind you, with where Yard was, he took Artur Beterbiev to the limit before getting knocked out. But in an incredible fight. But then he also had a fight that was very much, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but underwhelming against Lyndon Arthur. And so the ebbs and flows of what he's been as the world. Oh, okay. I saw somebody dipping through the, I saw somebody booking it out my window, and I was thinking, I saw somebody outside. I apologize for those of you who were just listening to the show. If you heard that pause in my speech, it's not because the microphone went away. I saw somebody outside my neighborhood booking it down the street. And I was thinking something was going on, and I was getting ready. I was like, "Hey, ho, hey, do we gotta handle something? So I was getting ready to say, do we gotta move?" Oh man, but it's all good. We all good. We all okay. So everything is fine. But again, back to Yard. I don't think he's being pushed. I don't think Yard is being pushed like he should as a boxer to be in a better situation of making my skill set go and elevate up. I don't see it. There seems to be a level of stagnation. There seems to be a level of almost not just a lack of improvement, but a lack of drive that I need to get better type of situation. I don't like that at all. Because physically, he's one of the few people that he's got the muscles, the power, and he doesn't lose the dexterity, the speed, and the ability to box at a high level. The physique doesn't hinder him like it would with other fighters when we say that, oh, you're too big, you're too bulky, you have too much muscle, you got too much mass that is not letting you be fluid. I don't see that with Anthony Yard, but I don't see the requisite work of him elevating himself as a fighter to be able to capitalize to the fullest what his body can do. And that's concerning. That's very concerning. Because there's a real opportunity. Anyway, I'm not saying Yard is old, but there's a real opportunity that with this whole situation, with Anthony Yard is what? He's 30, I want to say, well, let me not speculate. Hold on, let me not speculate. Anthony Yard is 34 years old. Right, he still has a career in front of him. He's 27-3. He's had 30 fights in total, 24 KOs. He's not a spring chicken either. And 34 is normally when we start to see, okay, there's going to be a decline. Some people are able to span it out long. Others, like Anthony Joshua, who's around that 34, 36 age group, or at least 33, 36 age group, we see how they've regressed as time has gone on. He's at that crossroads where you're at the last vestiges of your prime. There's a real opportunity that if he loses this fight, this might be the last chance he gets to be at least a dominant, top-tier championship contender. He'll still be in the mix, but it won't be as close as he is right now if he does lose this fight. This could literally be a make or break scenario in a major way for Anthony Yard. And in all this time, it ain't been nearly as impressive as we needed it to be. Again, if we want to go back through, if we want to go back through Yard's career, losing to Artur Beterbiev, knocked out Jorge Silva, knocked out Marco Nicola, then knocked out, then won on points against Vilkans, then unanimous but underwhelming decision by Lyndon Arthur. Most of these opponents, again, were not of that elite caliber after Artur Beterbiev. And then when he faced off against Lyndon Arthur, again, he won, but it wasn't nearly by the same, dominant display that we expected to see, even on a unanimous decision. Like I said, one call was 15-13. There's no world where I thought that fight was going to be a 15-13 type of affair. That's what, a 2-round difference? No, 3-round, whatever it was, it's too close for me. Now you're going back up against David Benavidez, and I'm saying that last performance against Arthur has me asking a bunch of questions. It ain't the prettiest picture to paint. It ain't the prettiest picture, at least to me. It ain't the prettiest picture to paint. And so listen, let me tell you, Teddy Berkshire, I'm not saying he doesn't spar at all, but for this fight, reports are saying he's not sparring for this particular fight. So, again, I will keep on looking. I'm not saying that anybody's lying. I'm simply going off of the facts that I'm able to see versus what I'm hearing. We're going to still try to find out. I can assume he is sparring. And I believe, again, Bodega put out that he doesn't record the sparring sessions. So, we'll go with that for now. But regardless of which, the concern still is a concern. There is no sense of elevation in Anthony Yarde in the past 4 fights of his career. If anything, there's been a little bit of a downgrade, and he's getting older, and he hasn't been looking to push himself like I need to see him to change his game for the better. All of that can be visibly seen in the fights, and I don't like that. I don't like that because I don't want to see this man become a layman. Not layman. I don't want to see this man become a just another name. You know what I'm saying? Because he can still be a really big issue for a lot of people. But also he can be somebody that just falls away. And Lord knows I don't want that to happen at all. I don't want that to happen at all. But let me oh man. But let me keep on reading what you all gotta say on the matter. And Loki, one of the dudes that he's been sparring is Jack Catterall's old. Okay. All right. Well, I did not know that. See, this is good. Y'all got information that helps me to paint a better picture on this whole scenario. I love Yarde. I'm pulling for him. But we going to sleep. Now, I'll say this. Anthony Yarde getting knocked out by Benavidez most likely isn't going to happen. But if Anthony Yarde does get knocked out by David Benavidez, that everybody should be horrified if that happens. Be clear. Everybody should be insanely scared if we see Anthony Yarde get knocked out by David Benavidez. Because the biggest issue with David as a whole is that he has no power. Or from the sense of the same power that he had at 168. He's still incredibly aggressive. He can still tag. He's still offensively one of the best boxers in the world. The defense has gotten leagues better. We know the whole spiel. But we also don't know when it comes to him as a power puncher. We have been very much, hey, you ain't got it like that no more. People more durable. People are bigger. They can take your punches. They can't take your volume, but they can deal with you. They can stay up. And you are more vulnerable. I've seen you rocked a couple times in this division. So, hey, you got to be more cautious, which he's been. But if we do see this brother knock him out and get a stoppage, that paints an even more devastating picture for the potential matchup between Bivol and Benavidez. Oh my gosh. That even makes for a better matchup between Benavidez and Benavidez. If that fight happened, with Benavidez's belt being on the line, that would be insane. Be afraid if Benavidez does get a stoppage. Be afraid. Oh gosh, be afraid. Be so afraid. Because that would be insane. That would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. Okay, yeah, see, I was trying to find this comment. Bodega. Yard doesn't post sparring, by the way, only yard sparring. This has ever been released, has been from other parties. Okay, so other parties don't do it. Other parties release it. He doesn't release it himself. Sparring against people. Okay, understand. Appreciate it. No problem there. David in 6. You got David in 6 rounds. So you saying it's going to, oh, shoot. So you think it's going to be a stoppage? Oh, you think it's going to be a stoppage? My gosh. Shoot. I think he's going to box him. I don't think he's going to be a stoppage because of how dominant. Or rather, if it took Artur Beterbiev almost 12 rounds to knock out Yard, I don't know if we're going to see Benavidez have enough power to do that same thing. Now, unless he makes it so that he swells his eye up, he gets a stoppage, he cuts him up, and he just keeps on pounding and pressure. If he makes Lubin look like, was it Davis? A while ago at 168? I think it was a brother named Davis where the fight got stopped because half his face was just swelled up to Kingdom Come. Like I said, a bludgeoning force is what Benavidez is with his volume. If he can make him look like that, then yeah, we can get the stoppage. Okay, great, phenomenal. Which would still be incredibly impressive. But if that don't happen, I don't think we're going to see this man get knocked out. I really don't. But I think he's going to get destroyed outright. Let me see, that Yard clip was straight trash. Hey man, look, I tried to give it a little bit of saving face. I really did. I tried to say he was going through the motions. I tried to say he was going through the technique of trying to punch. But I'm not going to lie. The way he was throwing that left hook, very much pat, I was like, that was disgusting. That was very much disgusting. And that is not good. I'm gonna be real. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. Lord knows. It's gonna tell. Let me see. Also, if you're looking for sparring with Yard, you had to tap into old Mayweather gym clips. Dang. So I gotta go back. Well, that ain't gonna help me because that Yard might not be the Yard that we have right now. So it's all bad. It's all bad. Let me see. Yard under a different trainer could have been champion, but a Yard under a different trainer now could be champion. You give Yard Benavidez's trainer. You give Yard Robert Garcia. You give Yard Canelo's trainer, Eddie Reynoso's. You give Anthony Yard Bomac. You give Anthony Yard Derek James. You're probably looking at a world champion. You're probably looking at that when Bivol was en route to getting the belts, he had to go at least through Yard because Yard would have already been a champ. Guarantee you. I guarantee you. You give him Joseph Parker's trainer. You give him anybody's trainer. Any somewhat competent trainer that is not this much of a outlier in terms of his methods. He probably becomes champion. Probably. Also, I'm in Moto. What's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. So glad you're with us on today. Also, be sure to leave a like on the stream. Keep on commenting. Keep on sharing the show. Get the likes up to help the algorithm see that this is the place to be. Mind you, we had 500 people come through last time in collective. We can make it even bigger, but it's always you simply hitting the like button and letting people know this is the place to be on the watch. Also, I think if you hit the like on the community post when we were saying that the show's up and live, that also helps get people to see who are subscribers that, hey, We going live, and you want to tune in and see what we got to say. This is a phenomenal show, and we love all of you being here with us on today. But let me make sure I keep on reading because I don't want to get too far behind. Yard could give Benavidez problems. David got dropped by again, he got stunned. He didn't get dropped, but he got stunned. But he can knock him out. Yard can knock out Benavidez. Everybody needs to understand that. I don't care what you may feel about Anthony Yard as a fighter or his trainer. Yard can knock out Benavidez. Yes, he can. He got more pop than David Morrell. Yard has more pop than David Morrell. Yard is going to be, outside of maybe David Lemieux. Now, why am I saying like that? David Lemieux. Outside of David Lemieux, Yard is the strongest puncher Benavidez will have ever faced in his career. I can say that confidently. Morrell got pop. He ain't got Anthony Yard pop. I promise you that. I guarantee you that. That's a different breed of power. It is. It's one of the most powerful punches in the division. That physique is not a lie. And we see it in the record. 27 wins, 24 KOs. So he can knock him out. Benavidez has got to put everything he's been doing in of a defensive mindset. He's got to put it together in this fight. Because we can legit see him get dropped against Anthony Yard. Yes, he can. Oh, yes, he can. We can see that happen. It can be dangerous. It can be definitely a dangerous sentiment. It can be bad. But let me see. This would definitely be his last title opportunity, and he basically only got it through Tony's connection with Bill. Bill having a good rapport with Jose Benavidez Sr. Potentially, either way, I don't care how we got the shot. This is a fight that A, makes sense. This is a fight that B, allows for us to see where Benavidez truly is. Not saying that he's already considered a top 3 light heavyweight, because he should be. But this is going to be, if he does this and wins this, the conversation with B-Ball and against Beterbiev all change. It all changes. All of it changes. Everything that we say about B-Ball and Beterbiev now, when it comes to David Benavidez, is strictly off of the backs of the unknown with Anthony Yard. If he gets past this test, not saying he's already is improving, one of those fights is gonna have a swing of, when it comes to favoritism of who's gonna win. This fight can affect the public perception of what's going to happen in one of those two instances. And most likely it would be the perception of Benavidez versus Bivol changes for a lot of people. It changes. That we see that Yard or that Benavidez starts to become the favorite. Especially if he handles Yard with ease. I'm telling you. Not because that Bivol isn't worth his weight in gold, because, oh, yes, he is. Can he beat Artur Beterbiev? A healthy Artur Beterbiev, and beat him at his own game on the inside. He was willing to go into the fire with at that point in time, one of the best, if not the best puncher in all of boxing. And he beat him. I can't say nothing about that, because it was incredible. But with the back injury, and with the long layoff, and with the consistency of David Benavidez, and with what we can see if he handles Yard, I'm telling you, the winds of change are going to swing in Benavidez's favor for what the public's going to say that fight's going to be like, at least for that specific instance. And it's going to be, people are going to start, many people that you may expect are going to start saying that Benavidez takes that win. They're going to start saying he takes that win. I'm telling you, it can happen. It can happen like that. Let me see. Oh, Vaughn Greenhill, how you doing? Good to see you. If I didn't say hi already, appreciate you coming in. So glad you're here. Again, please keep on liking the stream. We're so happy that you joined us on today. Let me see what you got to say. Let me see. Bodega, I agree. For sure, the WBA playing with Roach. No, you ain't wrong. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. If anything, Tank should be stripped of that WBA title. Let's be real. Tank should be stripped of the WBA championship. It should be. Tank should be stripped. And mind you want to bring up the excuse Pacquiao's trying to fight in an exhibition with Lomachenko and also fight in a real fight with Floyd Mayweather. Isn't he doing the same thing? You can say yes, but also the context is a whole lot different because he ain't a champion. He ain't a champion at minimum. And at best, he's 46 years old. We don't think he should be fighting in the first place, but he's competing. I don't think he should be going after any of these people, Floyd or Lomachenko. And you should be straight up worrying about Rolly Romero, rematching Mario Barrios, and trying to get a title again since that was your MO. You said you wanted to do it, and you came close, and what I'm saying, you can do it. I don't want to see that fight. I'm going to be real. I don't want to see any of those fights. If you're going to be an active boxer, you ain't doing it for money. You're doing it for the love of the game. You said that yourself. So, hey, if you're going to go that route, guess what? I fully get avenging your loss with Floyd. I fully get you want to fight Lomachenko. You've been fighting exhibitions before, no question. But now you in the championship ring now. Even if you are Manny Pacquiao, who if anybody's earned the right to do what they want, it's Pacquiao. But that don't mean that he should. For me, he should be, if he is going to fight in those fights, take his name out the rankings, take his name out the running for titles. But if he's going to get a title, which I think he can, he needs to continue with aiming to get a championship. Because I've heard Floyd, I've heard Lomachenko, and I've heard Rolly Romero, and I've heard a rematch with Mario Barrios. I'm trying to figure out what's the real and what ain't right now. Because Pacquiao's got so much stuff going on. He's negotiating with 4 fights at once. Insanity. Ridiculous. I need a clear-cut path. I need a clear-cut path. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I forgot how did I even, oh yeah, I remember. But I was bringing Pacquiao up because we talk about what Tank is doing and you say Pacquiao's doing the same thing. Yes, it's right. And it shouldn't happen. But for Tank, it's even more egregious because 1, he ain't even got nearly the cachet, and 2, he should be stripped because, again, he's holding the division hostage because he's got a belt and ain't nobody else got a belt, and somebody should be fighting for a belt if Tank ain't defending that belt against any of the requisite number 1 contenders or top 5 or top 10. I'll take top 15 at this point. He should be stripped today. He should be like that. He should be stripped today. Plain and simple. It's odd. Again, I'm not going to go on a tangent. But yeah, they messing Roach up dirty. Because Roach should have a rematch for a title today. And it's a shame that he ain't. I hate it. But let me see. Fight Buzz TV, yo, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome back. I'm happy that you're here. Appreciate you coming in. Again, this is still the championship rounds of a show. The entire show is still dedicated to you all having your voice and opinions be heard on this stream. We're talking about Benavidez and Yard, absolutely. But we can still ebb and flow and have your voice be heard for the world to be able to witness and enjoy. And add your voice to the conversation and let's get some debates going and let's get your thoughts and opinions on anything. As long as this show's going to go. So I appreciate it. I'm so happy to get back. And salute to you and appreciate you calling me Welch the GOAT. Hey, man, I'm just a humble man trying to make some dough and leave my mark on the realm of sport media as a whole. We're going to build it ourselves, and we're going to be great doing it. So I appreciate all the support and all the love. And, hey, we're going to make magic happen. Not even magic. And we ain't going to be no illusion. We're going to be great. Oh, yes, we will. And y'all are going to be along for the ride, helping us grow together as an empire. So I appreciate all the support, no question. Let me see. Amen. Does Benavidez beat Archie Beterbiev? I got Beterbiev stopping him. I cannot say that he beats Archie Beterbiev. That specific tandem of stylistic clash works as a nightmare for Benavidez in my estimation. I'm scared. That's the one fight I'm saying, hey man, I don't think you can beat Beterbiev. That's the one I'm saying I don't think you can beat him. I think you can beat B-Wall better than you can beat better BF. Because that power, with how much, when you do get caught, you're susceptible. That level of power, though, it ain't going to take much to rock you. And you're going to be on the inside with this cat. And I'm telling you, that's going to be an absolute war. It will be a war. It will be fight of the year. I guarantee you that. That fight will be fight of the year. But the price Benavidez is going to have to pay with, again, the arm punches of Archie Beterbiev are able to rock the most hardened of chins. Not loading up feels like you're getting a punch from Jaya Pataya. This is horrific when it comes to the world of punching. Not boxing, punching. And Benavidez, because of how much he opens up and where this fight is going to take place, he's going to be susceptible. And man, that is a nightmare scenario. That's a nightmare scenario to deal with. The fact that B-Wall did it against Archie Beterbiev, yeah, is insane and ridiculous. And I'm not saying that Benavidez can't do it as well. But that's going to be dangerous. That's the one thing that's got me a little bit concerned. That's the one fight that has me concerned for Benavidez. And I think I'm not going to, he might get stopped. He might. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but boy, if there was any fight that it would, it'd be that one. It'll be that one. I'd be scared for that one. Let me see. I got Archie Beterbiev with 2 knee braces and 10 socks. Being in both Davis. Hey, look, man. Like Archie Beterbiev, the real question is with Arthur, how long does he have at the top? From the standpoint of where his skill sets is still as great as it can be. Mind you, he was going to fight Nicholson and be active. Then that fight got taken off the card. I forget why. I think somebody got injured. But regardless of which, that fight's no longer happening. So every time I don't see Beterbiev in the ring, is more time I'm scared that we're going to see the bottom fall out. Like it did with Pacquiao. At some point, it's just going to be, he just isn't what he was. He's sustaining up until he's not. And with him being one of the oldest people out there, I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't. It's like with Laura. All these folks that are 40 and above, I just don't know. And so I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Because I don't want this brother to not get his shot at the undisputed tiebreaker against people, but I get the injury. But I also need him to be active. But now he ain't got to fight. Because, again, I forget what situation happened, but the fight had to be canceled. And the longer he waits around, the sooner that drop could happen at a heartbeat. And I don't want that to happen. I really don't. Let me see, what's the WBC doing with Barrios at 147? Do back-to-back draws and voluntary defenses where his mandate, or where is mandatory at? Why hasn't he been ordered to fight whomever rated number 1? I mean, beats me. You asking the right questions. But the answer is, I don't know. Like I said, with the timeline of events, we thought it was going to be first rematch with Pacquiao. Made the most sense. Would have gotten you the most money. Was the closest fight out there. And you, I mean, if we're going to be honest, if he fights any of the other champions under Mario Barrios, he's definitely going to get beat. So he's one of the weaker champions at the division. Well, again, this is not disrespect of the hierarchy of the people that got the belt. Barrios is the most beatable, though he is still dangerous. Pacquiao fighting at his level made all the sense in the world. We're going to see that fight rematch. Or we're going to see that rematch happen in a fight. Then that fell through. Then I think he had somebody else go through. And it, what happened? Wait, let me make sure. That I got my correct insight. Because I heard something that he was gonna fight. It was another brother. Hold on. I heard something about him. That potentially there is a fight getting ready to happen. That's who I was thinking of. What I had heard, rumor-wise, was that Mario Barrios, again, rumor, be clear, rumor, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Rumors at the welterweight division, 147. He, if he doesn't fight Pacquiao, could fight Conor Benn after Conor Benn versus Chris Eubanks Jr. With Conor Benn coming back down. Rumors. That's a plan they want to go through. Another rumor, maybe he fights the winner of Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. Again, at 147. We could see that take place. But why he hasn't been, because if I'm looking at the rankings right now, if I can look, let me look at the rankings real quick to make sure I got the, I got everything correct. That's what I was thinking of. Or potentially going to fight Rolly Romero. Now, Rolly Romero is also in talks with, crazy enough, potentially fighting Manny Pacquiao. We reported that on this show as well. I think that was done by, there's negotiations for Pacquiao and Rolly happening. I think was that via Ring Magazine? That was one of the respectable boxing outlets. And so one of those three things could happen. And right now, I think who is number one for Barrios' title, crazy enough, is Manny Pacquiao. And then it's Correll. There's Conor Benn ranked number 4. Callum Vasquez is number 5. Meg Bang at number 6. This is per Boxing Live. Or Box.live, excuse me. And then, who was this? Is it, How do I say his name? Sissoko, I think is his name, ranked number 2. But why nobody else being made is probably because the potential. What was it? Probably the reason why is because the potential of that Pacquiao fight still being able to happen. Like we know with the belt commissions, a lot of them are still about money. It's too big of an opportunity to say risk that going against somebody else, and then the belt gets taken off. We don't get as big of a cut as we could have gotten. Now, that doesn't mean that we still don't need to see something happen. We still do, but that's the best thing I can give you. Everybody's waiting on that Pacquiao fight to come back, but even still, it's frustrating to say the least. Because, like I said, the commission, the belt commission could go and make mandatories happen. Like that. They have to. The fighter doesn't activate the mandatory. The belt commission does. That's how we got Parker and Usyk forced into negotiations, because Joseph Parker got forced as a mandatory onto Usyk, and they were given a deadline of 160 days or 80 days, whatever the deadline was. If they make it, they have to negotiate, or else you risk losing the belt. So they can answer their own question, and they can make the fight, whatever fight it needs to be, if they really want it to. But will they? I don't know. Most likely, because I don't think the Pacquiao fight is actually going to happen, though it should. We're going to see Barrios fight the winner of Norman versus Devin Haney for the welterweight championship, to unify. That's the only other option. That's the only other means for why I see them waiting around. Winner gets Barrios to become a unified champion. That's the only logical conclusion I can think of. If that don't happen, then I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Truly, I don't know what they're doing. Let me see. I'm in Rotor. Michaela Mayers looked sensational against May Spencer. Yep, we covered it at the start of the show. Michaela Mayers has now has added another belt to the arsenal. Again, looks sensational. I told you she's going to have to deal with that hype, but I think she's going to deal with it flawlessly. And look at her. She has now become not just a champion, but like she can rule. I think she can become. I believe it was unified, or was it for undisputed? Let me make sure. Was it for unified or was it? I can't remember. I know it was 4 belt. Yep, it was for unified. It was for 3 of the 154-pound titles against Spencer. That's what it was for. I couldn't remember if it was an undisputed or it was for just unified. But still, unified. Insane. And phenomenal work. And again, and everybody got to see it for free. We got to see it for free. Thankfully, we got to see it for free. And don't be surprised if she goes for undisputed. Don't be surprised at all if she goes for undisputed next. Quick and in a hurry. Because I would bank on it. I would bank on it. And most likely, I don't think anybody's going to stop her. I don't think anybody's going to stop her. I think she takes that belt with even more ease than this one. Because if she keeps this type of level of performance, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit at Super Welterweight. So absolutely. She's going to be undisputed. Watch. Watch and see. She's a bad woman. She's a bad woman, man. She's a bad woman. That woman can fight with the best of them. And she keep on taking on challenges. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me see. MS, what's going on with you? Thank you for tuning into the show. Appreciate you tuning in on the live. What you got to say on the matter? I got Bivol, but worried that Bivol is recovering from back surgery. He won't be fighting the same. Also, Bivol said in the interview a year and a half ago that Benavidez had fast hands and hits really hard. Enough said. Again, this is why I'm saying this fight with Anthony Yarde is so interesting. Because many people gloss over what Bivol has already said about Benavidez. Because they've sparred together. Because they've worked together. And I'm telling you right now, if Benavidez handles Yarde, that fight is going to be looking mighty dangerous. And Bivol, I guarantee you, most likely won't be fighting the same. Again, he won't be fighting you. He won't be the same, brother. We were concerned with the likes of, what was it? We were concerned in the NBA world. I think I brought this up before. I believe I brought this up before. We were concerned with Dwight Howard after he got his back injury when he was in Orlando. And he was still able to be an all-star, still able to play well, still able to be phenomenal. But he was then, the decline was quick and in a hurry. Stiff, not as mobile. Still a dominant defender. One of the greatest defenders we've ever seen. One of the great rebounding savant. But his stint on the Rockets and Lakers was also because that man was not the same. And we saw the decline keep on going and going and going. He was still integral, but he wasn't the same Dwight. He wasn't Superman anymore. Bivol almost assuredly ain't going to be able to be the same Bivol at the back. I'm almost assured that he won't. Because when your back gets damaged, it affects everything else in the body. And with somebody who moves as much as Bivol, you need a strong back to not just be able to punch at any angle, but to have balance and movement as a whole. You don't want to be hunched over. And it can hurt. Trying to stay upright and bounce. It's a toll. It's a toll. Weaving, dipping, slipping, ducking down, rolling under shots, changing momentum, bouncing back and forth, skipping across the ring. Whatever movement angle you want to have, requires your back to be in a good state. Because if not, it's going to be bad. Why do you think Mike Tyson wasn't able to slip and use that peekaboo head movement once the sciatica kept on kicking in? Because his back ain't the same. Floyd Patterson, when his back gave out, with him being one of the first dominant user under Cus D'Amato of the peekaboo style. And with him, when his back gave out, he wasn't able to be the same fighter. Yes, it was due to age, but also the constant bobbing and moving takes a toll. And once it's gone, you can't be nearly as elusive because your body can't respond like it needs to, right? Because it's injured, it's fatigued, it's broken down. With Bivol, we can run into that same window. And so that fight with with David Benavidez is very much a different type of fight. Because I don't think it's gonna be the same people. I don't think it's gonna be the same people. And it concerns me. It does concern me. It does concern me. Absolutely. Let me see. Mauricio Suleiman has been known for keeping certain fighters, especially Mexican fighters, under his special protection wing. There are dozens of these cages in smaller weight classes. Well, again, the biggest case, not just of, I'm not going to say with Mexicans purely, but just in general, Suleiman has been doing this. Canelo. You literally have to just look at Canelo as the biggest example of one of the issues with the WBC, which is with as much legacy as that belt holds. Again, it's not without its own brand of corruption. It's not without its own brand of politics. It's not without its own brand of problems. That's one of them. Some for D and not for me. And then unlike that, the IBF won't let fights happen for Undisputed because they keep ripping people off the second they win a belt. Mind you, I believe Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes, the winner of that, I believe it's for the IBF belt, immediately they got to fight in the mandatory for the number one contender for the IBF and negotiate almost relatively 2 weeks afterwards. Without fail. It's going to happen. Watch. It's going to happen. I guarantee you it's going to happen. And you would think you would actually have time to breathe with the belt at least, but no. It ain't going to be the case. I promise you it ain't going to be the case. Never I almost forgot. Yep. I almost forgot about this fight. I do need to make sure I show y'all this in my part of the news thing. That was indeed getting announced, and I'm so glad it's happening. If you ain't heard already, this is real. This is real. Yep. He's back, y'all. The wacky, wavy, inflatable, arm-flailing tube man returns to the ring in Emmanuel Navarrete. That's right, going up against Eduardo Sugar Nunes. Yeah, you got your sources right, and that got confirmed by Mike Commissioner in the Ring Magazine on January 24th. Again, January is looking to be an insane month of fighting. It's going to be great. But, hey, my interest in this fight, which, again, to be clear, I got Navarrete winning by KO. I got him winning by KO. I'm sorry. I have been a detractor of Navarrete for too long, and now I've turned into a big fan of his. You know why? Because he kept proving me wrong that every single time this brother should not win, that he should be able to be caught, outboxed, and somebody figure him out. Guess what? He's adding something else to his game, and then he's being more dominant offensively. And I'm saying, my goodness, I can't help but look and say this man is something serious. This man is worth the hype. Worth the price of admission, no question about it. And don't be surprised with the real reason why I'm interested in this fight. That was an odd way of saying that. Don't be surprised if after he wins this, the real instance of why this fight intrigues me comes to fruition. Because I've been thinking a long time that this man's going to move up to 135 in the very near future. And it could happen next year. It could happen next year. It could happen next year. He can get unified and then say, yep, I did everything I needed to do here. It's time for me to go with the big boys at 135. Tank, Shakur, Abdullah Mason, Floyd Schofield, anybody you can think of. We want that smoke. Tevin Farmer, come on. William Zepeda, come on. Lamont Roach, come on. Don't matter who. This man's out for blood. And he's going to be somebody that's going to be hard to beat. Because I'm telling you, his style is something that is so awkward. It's so strange. It breaks the laws of nature and reason and logic. But yet it still compounds on damage at a rate that nobody can stop. And you can't get away from it no matter what you try. He's such an awkward, lanky man that will punch at any discretion with almost seemingly no plan involved. Like, I dare say this man could give Shakur some nightmares. This man could give Tank some nightmares. This man could give the likes of Abdullah Mason some insane work if they ever stepped in the ring. Oh my gosh. This butter is not a butter to be messed with. When I'm telling you right now, Emmanuel Navarrete is a threat. He's a threat. And if he wins this fight, don't be surprised if he moves up to 135 next. Because, man, there's so much money and there's so much legacy, and he's so young, yet he is becoming such a great fighter. I wasn't saying that before, but I can say that now. That man, he's legit. And he will give people some work, I promise you. I promise you, I guarantee you, he's going to give people some real work. It's going to be a danger. It is going to be a danger. In fact, hold on, I think we had, what's another topic? Okay, yeah. I had to make sure I had my title right. But yeah, he's going to be scared of that brother. He is going to be a big threat, man. Benavidez will beat Bivol if they fight next year. After 2 fights, Benavidez had back surgery. After 2 fights, Benavidez. I'm sorry. Hold on. No, I'm blanking. Let me reread that. Benavidez will beat Bivol if they fight next year. After 2 Benavidez fights and back surgery, I don't like his chances against a guy like Benny. Yeah, look, I get you. Like I said, it's been a downward slope of confidence in my own self since that fight with Archie Benavidez, especially with the back surgery, and with the improvement of David Benavidez. That's why this fight with Yard is going to be so important. If Bakram decimates Kelly, does he get avoided more than before after the Tim Tszyu win? So that's an interesting question. It's yes and no. It's yes and no. It's yes and no. Yes, he will be seen as people don't want to mess with him. Because now that Tim Tszyu fight is not an outlier of a shock of the best of what Bakram can be. No, that fight then becomes another example of this is what Bakram is as a fighter. There's a difference. The best performance versus what you are 2 completely different connotations. Lamont Roach, for example, that was his best performance in the fight with Tank. But we're concerned with understanding if that is what Lamont Roach is as a fighter. Bakram right now, he's always been a threat, yes. But that fight made people shock and awe, scared of all get out. But if he beats Kelly, beats him bad, this is who Bakram is. And now that's a sustained fear factor. It's a sustained threat level. It's a sustained type of talent that people don't want to deal with at all. And I can promise you this. When we're looking at that fight with any of the top contenders, he's going to be avoided. But at the same vein, he won't be avoided if he makes himself a big enough name that he is unavoidable. The main issue with these people not getting fights, in part, yes, because of promoters, but also because they are not making enough noise of who they want to smoke with. You got to apply pressure and not just stay with the belt in hand. You got to give people a sense of urgency that, hey man, he's a threat, but he's also got a name that's too big that I can't ignore on top of having a belt. If I lose to him now, yeah, it's going to be bad for me. But you got to, if you're Buckram, you got to make yourself a big enough name that you don't have to worry about being too much of a threat, because now you are seen from a monetary standpoint and from a cachet standpoint. You have the belt and you are one of the baddest men and you can bring me a great cachet and you're known enough that if I get you, I'ma be able to move up to the top of the mountain in the wider scope of the boxing landscape. But you gotta make some noise. You got to. To your promoters and to the rest of the public. Because, man, if you don't, we're going to fall back to the same road. And we don't want that. Lord knows we don't want that at all. Let me see. Ramon Murtala and Andy Cruz is also going to happen soon. He won the bid. Oh, shoot. Heard won the bid. Wait a minute. Oh, my gosh. So that fight is going down. We had reported on it. We had said this fight is looking like it's going to happen, which is great. But we didn't know who had won the bid. Now, Hearn won it. Andy Cruz, you've been talking a whole awful lot.
Hey, look at this. We got the problems here.
You've been talking a whole lot.
We got the problems here.
You've been talking a whole lot. Now it's time to put up or shut up now. We want to see what you can do. We want to see if all that smoke you've been talking for all these other fighters is really worth it. Not because we don't think you're good, but hey man, you've been running your jaws for a hot minute. We ready to see you get some hardware around your waist. We ready to see you get some names under your belt. Because again, if I got the record right, I think he's got under 20 wins in his career. If I believe yeah. But now again, extensive amateur background. I do understand. Again, brother, amateur bouts, the brother was indeed 135-9. I completely understand it. But now, with a lot of these people, again, he's 30. He started the pro ranks late because he got his pedigree in the amateurs. No problem there. But you've been talking a lot, and we know you need to move quick. Well, guess what? Now's the time to start moving. Now's the time to get it going. Now, and I believe. Let me see. Hold on. Wait, there was something else. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Is there some breaking news going on? Wait a minute. Hold on. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes a minute. I'm validating something. I'm trying to. Okay. All right. Never mind. I take it back. Take it back. False alarm, folks. I thought we'd had an instance of another fight getting announced that was in lightweight, but not to be. Never mind. Forget I said anything. We're gonna keep on moving. Him fighting against Murtala is phenomenal, but I gotta see some work. And again, hey, look, Bodega, I'm not talking against him. Be clear. I'm not trying to talk against the brother. Understand? I'm not trying to say that I'm against Andy Cruz now. I know the brother can fight. I know the brother can fight. And Murtala's at 135. I believe both of them gonna be fighting at 135. But I'm not trying to do much on Murtala. If he not trying to fight, he getting stripped. Wait, hold on. Wait, tell me. Is it? See, now I'm getting a little bit confused. Let me make sure. Is the fight? I'm trying to make sure. Is it Raymond Murtala or is it Ramon? Because let me make sure I got it right now. I'm trying to make sure I got it right. I want to make sure there's been a couple of. Okay, no, yep, you're right. Okay, yeah. So it is Murtala at 135. And again, Eddie Hearn won the first bid. That is true. They're going to fight each other, which is great. And so now, for both of them, we're going to see some movement being done. And if we do see Andy Cruz win, understand, if we see Andy Cruz get this victory, it's going to sound harsh, but I don't want to see a tune-up fight for this, but or a get right, not even a get right, a fodder type fight as champion. I want to see him against the Schofields, against the Abdullah Masons, and against the Shakurs of the boxing landscape. I want to see him. I want to see this brother against him. I don't care if he's only got 6 fights on his resume. He's 30 years old, and he went through the amateurs to get to a point where he could be a pedigree above everybody else, so he could get these types of shots. So now, now I want to see what you can do. Because if I'm gonna be real, I'm not in. And see, this is going to sound harsh, but I don't know how high I am on Andy Cruz as a fighter. I don't. And it's not me trying to be, overly dramatic. I'm not trying to be overly, shock and all, hot take type of value. But like, I'm being serious. I don't know how much I'm all in on Andy Cruz when it comes to this championship picture, because I know he's good. I do. I know he's got the Cuban X type of style, with the great, like I said, 140, 135 something wins. I get it. I get all that. He's slick. He can box. He can be a counterpuncher. He's got some good power to him as well. He can go the distance. He's got great stamina. He's got great footwork. All of that. But something about it just isn't clicking for me when it comes to looking at him as a fighter that I am like, yeah, he's got it type of situation. Something's just making it so that I just don't see it. But I want to hear from you if I'm missing something about what he is and why he's such a good fighter. I'm not saying that he isn't good, but why I'm not sold. What is it I need to look at to sell me on what he is as a legitimate title contender in the vein of I can pick him against these other top guys. Because right now I just can't. Right now, I just can't. Let me tell you, I want that for him too. But when he beats Raymond, Fast Eddie gonna line up a layup in a fight. Yeah, I know what's gonna happen. I know, I hate it, but my gosh, it's a pain. It's a pain that I can't stand But it's a pain. It's going to happen nonetheless. And sadly, we just got to deal with it. But let me see. Let me see. That's a fair assessment. He's a Cuban boxer that turned pro late, and that's sub-10 fights. Now, again, Majimov got a championship in 10. Majimov got a championship in 10. Lomachenko got a championship in like 6. I think he either broke the record or nearly set the record for most, or for the least amount of wins to get to a title in boxing. Like, it's ridiculous. It's insane how quickly he moved up the ranks. And he had a record in the amateurs of like 301. And so, again, I'm not against the amateur pedigree, making it so that, okay, you have something really of note. I'm just against the fact that when you have somebody of that caliber, it's a unique standpoint of having to move throughout their career. Because on one hand, hey, they got the experience to take on the globe. And yeah, by their 6th fight, okay, boom, with everything else on the back end, you can see them as, hey, this brother's legit. But at the same vein, they don't have enough pro experience to be able to say that, hey, are we pushing him too quickly to say that he deserves to be seen as in the same breath as the top 3 in the world of boxing? But if you don't say that, then you're going to say, oh, you're underestimating him. But if you do say that, you're saying that you're overestimating this brother because he ain't barely got 6 fights in the professional ranks. It's an odd landscape to be in that doesn't really get proven up until he gets put in those scenarios of championship opportunities, and he either crashes and burns or he becomes a champ. And then you're like, yep, he was always that good. Or, yeah, he still got some room to grow because he ain't that level yet. And now we got to let him work in the pro levels of growth rather than pushing him that far. But you don't know what's going to happen up until they get to that scenario. And then normally that's what, 15 fights or so when you have when you're a hot prospect, 15 or so fights before you get into the elite championship caliber. But in some cases, like with Andy Cruz or like with Lomachenko, it's out the gate. We run it. Okay, fine. Sink or swim is what you're going to be. And then if you're waiting too long, we're going to be saying, hey, where's your evidence of how good you are against a substantive fighter? If you got that big of a pedigree. It's an odd combination of circumstances. It's a very strange combination of circumstances. That is just, it's weird. But it's the reality when you're dealing with these types of championship caliber fighters. Will he sink or swim? I don't know. I want to say I think he's better than Andy Cruz, or that he's better than Murtala. I want to say he's better than Ray Murtala, but I'm also very privy to the fact that this man could indeed fall by the wayside real quick. Because Murtala ain't no slouch. He ain't a bad champion. He isn't a bad champion by any means. So I'm slightly skeptical. Slightly skeptical. It's the best thing I can say. Let me see. We definitely need to see more of him, which is why Ballsy wants him more active. Yeah, and like I wouldn't be upset if he had like what, a record of 10-0, 12-0. I wouldn't be upset with that. It's just it's the inner. See, and again, Lomachenko moved quick. He moved quick in his 6-fight run to get, or 6 or so fight run to get to a title. He moved insanely quick to get there. Though it was a short amount of time, or a short stint of fights. Andy Cruz ain't moving nearly as quickly. And so that's where I'm like, I wish you were more active on a more consistent level than being so sporadic. And even in somewhat in that last performance, I'm like, it wasn't bad. But, yeah. To be determined is the best thing I can say. We're going to find out. Again, it's find out season. It's find out season. I don't care where you are. I don't care who you are. It's find out season. We're going to find out how good you are. This year and next year. It's been like that all this year. Since like 2023. It's been like that. We're going to find out what you actually is and what you actually ain't. On a grand scale. So we're going to see how good he is. We're going to find out. But let me see. You know he's better than Raven Murtala. Hey, Bodega. I do think so as well. I'm going to say I think. I'm not going to say I know. I'm going to say I think. I'm strongly thinking, but I ain't going to say I know. If he fights on that night and he proves it, then I'm going to say, yeah, he was better. And I should have known he was better. Then I can say that. Right now, to be determined, we're going to find out when they actually fight each other, which I can't wait to see. But let me see. I'm in Rhoda. How far do you think Ben Whitaker can go? So, Ben Whitaker. See, that's the curious case of Benjamin Whitaker. You know what? This is a man who, it's a man. He is the hot start with showboating, then got clotheslined out the ring, more so threw himself back. But the amount of when it comes to Ben Whitaker, the potential is indeed, it's up there. I ain't gonna call him boots level. He's sure enough ain't that. He can taunt and he can do this, that, and the third. It don't matter. He can do all that. And again, his last performance, hey, he got the knockout. I believe he got the knockout. And he won in pretty dominant fashion. No problem there. But something about this man doesn't see me buying into him as a fighter going forward. And I think it's two things. One, it's as the talent goes up, I don't think he's going to be what he is. Or I don't think he's going to be able to reach that potential of what people are saying he can be as a fighter. I'm going to just put it blank. I don't think he's going to get there. And secondly, the reason why I don't think he's going to get there is because up here, his mentality, something about it is rubbing me the wrong way. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. But something about the way that he thinks rubs me the wrong way. Something about the way that he approaches boxing. Not saying he ain't dedicated, not saying he ain't driven, but it's something about the mental makeup that I can't explain it, but I know I'm seeing it. And as the competition elevates more, I think it's going to be a drastic hindrance. A drastic hindrance. And I'm probably going to be able to pinpoint the exact feeling I'm feeling about what it is that's the problem. But it's an unease. It's a concern that I can't put my finger on, but I know it's there. And it's just me. It's just me. I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. It's just me. Unless that feeling gets lifted off of my shoulders, when I'm watching Ben Whitaker, I don't have a lot of confidence that he's going to be a dominant top-tier threat at the division. Because he's got a bright future, yes, but it can be a short future as well. It can. And so I'm very much skeptical. I'm very much skeptical. And it's not just because he showboats. A lot of fighters do that. It ain't because he plays around. A lot of fighters do that. I'm not concerned with that. It is something mentally that I can't pinpoint, but I see it that I don't like about this brother that makes me think that as he upgrades his level of competition, he's going to crack. He's going to fold. He's going to get washed away. and going to have to go back to the drawing board. Something tells me. If I'm wrong, hopefully I'm wrong. But see, I can't shake it. I can't shake it as much as I try. And it's unexplainable. It's unexplainable. But it is, when I'm watching him, it's all encompassing. But it's all I can see. But I can't pinpoint what it is I'm seeing. But I know what I am feeling when I watch this brother. And that something just ain't where it needs to be. Mentally as a fighter. Something. Just something. I just can't think of it. And I've been trying. I just can't think of it. But I know it's there. I absolutely know it's there. And so, but let me keep on reading your comments. As we're still having some great, insane, incredible conversation. I do love it. Absolutely. But as we keep on going through, let me see. Give Ben to Boback and bring him to Fear to Philly and get work. Hey, look, I would love that. I would love that if that actually did take place. Let me see. Who do you think will be top 122 once Inoue leaves? Probably Nakatani. I would assume Nakatani. Because I doubt Nakatani's going to move up. And then regardless of how that fight with Inoue goes, move up again to 126 immediately. He probably stays at 122. And so then it's Nakatani's game to rule. With, again, Ahmed Ali and all the other people, Casemiro, and everybody else going and being a man to have to dethrone him. Because he would then have work to do there. Same names, but a different face at the top. But it'll probably be Nakatani reigning as the it guy after Inoue leaves. Because Nakatani's going to move up. And he's in the division now. And he'll most likely stay there. At least after Inoue leaves. When he moves up, if he moves up, I don't know. But if he's there, if Inoue ain't going to be the guy, it's going to be Nakatani. That's going to be the guy. At least in my opinion. Let me see. Mr. Miyagi, yo, what's going on with you? How are you doing? We appreciate you tuning in to the show with us on today. Thank you so much for all of your support and all the entry. Let me see. Sup, Jean-Luc? Don't forget, Inoue won his first world title. And it was his 5th fight? Wait. Oh, shoot. I didn't know. Wait a minute.
Hey, look at this. We got the problems here.
He won it in 5? Hold on. Time out. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me find out. Wait a second. Gosh, he won in 2014. Light flyweight title. What the world? Are you kidding me? I did not know he was in his 5th fight. Brother, that's insane. That's ridiculous. What the world? Okay, hold on. So if that's the case, how many fights did it take for Lomachenko to win first title? Gosh. I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Hey, look at this.
I was wrong. I gave y'all bad information.
The problems here.
Lomachenko did not win his first title in 6 fights. Lomachenko won his first title in 3 fights professionally. Oh my gosh. Shoot. Great day in the morning. And then he beat Gary Wilson Jr. right after. My gosh, yeah, no, that's insane. That's different. Hey, look now, that's different. Look, that's different. I didn't. this cat won a world title in 3 fights, and the next fight was a title defense that he beat Gary Russell Jr. for. When Gary Russell was consistently boxing before having to take over the gym for his day. Are you kidding me? What type of mess is that? That is, oh my gosh. That's preposterous. That's ridiculous. That is insane. That is actually insane. My goodness, I'm so sorry. I had to look that up for myself to make sure. That is ridiculous. But let me see. TSO Bodega, Ben definitely needs a philosophy change and a more prominent voice of reason in his corner. He needs to train with dogs to pick up on that mentality to bring Ben to Philly ASAP to work with Boozy. I mean, like, that would be great. I doubt he's going to leave the UK. And, like, again, Philadelphia would be great. He'll get that mentality. He'll get that dog in him, all that stuff. Absolutely. There's a couple of other places that as well around the States and just abroad. If he went to those specific gyms, yeah, he will be turned into a different animal. I absolutely agree with that. But when we're talking like overall, I think the word actually, no. You put it best. He has the talent. And he has the power. But he ain't got the structure. You hit the nail on the head. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. Ben Whitaker doesn't have the structure of an environment that I need for him to have to be able to thrive. The structure surrounding the boxing life, I'm not saying he's dedicated, but it's not as, what's the word? It's not as conducive as it needs to be. And it's allowing for cracks mentally that I'm seeing, that if he had that level of structure that I would want for him to have, those issues wouldn't be there. At least not be nearly as prominent. And again, a lot of them are like intangible stuff where like you it's hard. Again, like I said, it's hard to explain, but I know what I'm seeing. But it is a situation where that wouldn't be a feeling if there was a different level of structure. Because I know this man can be a menace. He can be a menace. Oh gosh. If he grows up right, brother, everybody better watch out, because yeah, this buddy's gonna be coming. He's gonna be coming through to hurt a whole litany of people. But at the same time, without that structure, getting to that level is a concern. Without that structure, getting to that level is the potential indictment that can be ensued on his career. Because as he keeps on growing up in level, once that pushback gets more and more prevalent, we're looking at saying, hey, we got a guy, we know what you can do, we know what we can see, but the structure that you have has made it so that you are open to potential pitfalls that you don't need to be, especially at this level. But we're going to see how it unfolds. But again, that's my opinion on when I'm looking at him as a boxer. Not that he ain't great, not that he ain't good, not that he can't be something phenomenal, but that it's just, I think structure's the apropos word. I think structure's the apropos word. That is my opinion. I mean, leaving the UK had worked so for Jack since he's been there. I mean, it's worked out for a lot of people. It's worked out for, again, if we want to, you want to use another great, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury left the UK and went to box at the Kronk Gym and changed his entire style. And you saw what that got him. A phenomenal ability to be a even more physically imposing threat. Off of also the backs of being able to adapt to what his new environment of body is as an opponent as a fighter as a whole. And so it has definitely helped out with a litany. And I do mean a litany of people over the course of years and years. So it could be exactly what he needs. It could be. I'm not saying it will, but it could be. Let me see. I know what you mean about Ben. It's almost like he's playing at boxing when he's being so overly arrogant against Journeyman and disrespecting them, and almost got exposed by Lehman. Yeah, like you did. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely that's definitely a portion of it. Absolutely. And again, he got serious. He did get serious in his last fight. And he did handle business. That he did handle what he was supposed to do, which is great, which is incredible. But it's still lingering of, will the old habits come back? And will the seriousness, not just of the sport, but of himself? And it's more than, and again, we've seen people play around in boxing, but it's been steeped in like, yo, I'm a bad man because I'm able to do this. And this ain't just part of me clowning around. Like, I'm that good that I can do this. And I'm showing everybody, yo, I'm a different breed. It's still rooted in that seriousness. Even though, again, he's messing around. No, anyway, he clowns around all the time inside the ring. But we don't hear me talking about it. You know why? Because I can see there's a difference in him versus Ben Whitaker. Not just in talent and production, but in the dedication to the game. There's a different vibe of what I do in the ring. People try to emulate Ali and do the Ali shuffle because they're trying to be, funny. Ali did the Ali shuffle because guess what? It's part of what I do. This is me. This is my game. I do this because I'm that good. Not because I'm trying to have some fun, but because this is how I destroy. I put my hands down. I escape by the skin of my teeth. I go through and I'm reckless. You know why? Not because I'm trying just to mess around. Not because I ain't taking this seriously. It's because I'm taking this seriously that I'm doing this. Because I'm that good and I'm that serious that I can take these liberties and you can't do a doggone thing about it. And I wish you would, or else I'm going to hurt you even worse. Go ahead and try. Roy Jones Jr., I'm going to mess around. You know why? Because I can. And I dedicated so much to this that I can do it at this level just to show you ain't me. Doing that to James Toney. He even talked about himself. He was trying to make an opening for James Toney when he went and ducked down with both arms out. Made him copy and then went back and hooked him and knocked him down. And outboxing for the rest of the fight. And one of the best wins of his entire career against a prime James Toney, who, mind you, brother, it's hard to say very few, if anybody, is beating that cat. James Toney is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you think. You can't have a boxing great list in general without having James Toney on it. That's a bad man. Him and Bernard Hopkins. And he beat them both. At their best when he was at his best. And it's because the way he did it is because he's something different. But it is not adjacent to his game being I'm just doing this just to have fun. I'm doing this because it's me. It's a different type of sentiment. Level of authenticity. That's the better word. Maybe that's what it is. The way Ben's fighting to some degree don't seem authentic to what Ben can really be. Just in my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But He's not fighting like the authentic Ben Whitaker that I know can really go through and do some damage. I'm not saying that because he's breaking the rules. I'm not saying that because he's clowning around. I'm saying that because it don't seem like this is what he truly should be as a fighter. Because when you saw what he was able to do when he actually hunkered down and got serious, when he actually went through and worked, when he had after the Lima debacle that came to play. Also, I'm trying to make sure that my stream is still up and running. Trying to make sure it's still trying to do some quick trying to make sure we're still working like we need to work. But like you see again, when he rematched Lima, he knocked him out. He knocked him out in 2 rounds and did not mess around. That felt like a Ben Whitaker. That was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what this man can do. That felt real. That felt, I'm not trying to market myself. That felt like I'm not trying just to make a name. That felt like I'm not trying just to go through and be a moment in time for everybody to witness. That felt like that is Ben Whitaker. That's what Ben Whitaker is. And if he keeps on fighting like that, the fame will come. The cachet will come. The fans will flock to you. But that's the real Ben Whitaker that can take on the world. That can take on 175. That can become a contender for a championship. But he got to make sure he commits to that version. Because this version that we've seen in the past, up until that Lima fight, seems very much inauthentic. It don't seem like it's him. At least in my perspective, it don't seem like that this is him. That this is really him as a fighter. And what he can be at his best. But again, it's just in my humble opinion. Let me see. Do you think Mayers beats Bumgarner? Ooh, in a rematch. Ooh. Ooh, I got to think about that. I can't say for certain. That's a 50-50 fight for me right now. I got to think about Bumgarner versus Mayers. If they fought against each other now, what that would be like. I can't say for certain who wins that fight. Not right now. In my opinion, I can't say for certain right now. That, at this point, that's a good fight. That's a good fight to make. Oh, gosh, that's a good fight. But I don't, at this point in a rematch, I don't know who wins that one. I don't. I'm real. I don't. You gotta come back to me on that, because that I gotta think about that fight, because that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Let me see. I used Gato Jack Hadaway as an example because I've physically seen how gym culture can change a fighter. Yeah, no, like it can. It can. Every gym has its own culture. I'm not saying some are better or worse than others. I'm saying some works better and some works worse for other fighters. And a changing gym could be the very thing that helps you be the best you can be. AJ's still trying to find that right now with a trainer that can blend and get him back to what he was at the prime of his career when he was blending offense and defense together. The Derrick James ain't work. Think about his most recent trainer now got him back to a semblance, but even still it's not perfect. He might need to go somewhere else. Shoot, he might need to go to Burma. He might need to go to Bomac. Who knows? Somebody. Because it's got to be a shift. For him, it's got to be a shift. Let me see. Also, he has a lot of sponsors and deals like modeling already at his early stage. Just no distraction so early in his career. Now, like, I'm not mad at them having a bunch of different things. Like I said, you can be. Sugar Ray Leonard was the face, at one point in time, was the face of not just boxing, but was the darling of the sports world as a whole. As a whole. This man was one of the most popular boxers in all the globe. Had the look, had the smile, had the physique, was a dog in the ring, could sell products left, right, and center, could be featured on television shows, could be on movies, was a star by every sense of the word that eclipsed the sport itself and eclipsed sports as a whole. And he was still doing that while in the gym. You can balance it out. We want you to be able to have, you fight to get those opportunities. I don't call those distractions unless you can't be focused where you need to be focused. And for Ben, it's not that he isn't focused. It's that what is garnering that focus, again, the authenticity of Ben Whitaker, I don't see where it needs to be. In this last fight, I saw it. But up until this point, it's been a very much, I'm making a name instead of I'm going to win. You can still have all of the other things. I love it. I want him to have more of it. Get your money. But get to a point where now you're beyond just, I'm trying to make a name. I'm trying to win. Once you get to that as your forefront, we see you fighting like you fought against Lima or Liam the second time. Because now you fought in the way of, I'm trying to shut people up. You see what that did to him? I'm fighting to shut people up. I'm fighting to get people mad. I'm fighting to get people, I'm fighting because I'm mad. I'm fighting because I'm trying to show y'all jokers, you better stop talking about me like you think I'm nothing. Like you think I'm a fake. Brother, I'm as real can get, and I'll show you. That's the real bit. That's the bit I want to see going forward. Yeah, that's the bit I definitely want to see going forward. Let me see, with the correct promoter, Bakram can be a star because he is fluent in Spanish and can build his Mexican family. Yes, I think we said that last time we talked about Bakram. Hey man, you get somebody to utilize Bakram and his ability to be bilingual. Crawford did it, and he got the vast majority of Mexican population to actually support him in that fight with Canelo, and they've been rocking with him for years. They've been rocking with that brother for years. Because he's been able to be ingrained with them, connect with them. Bakram can do that same thing if you just give him time. You want a perfect example? We'll go back to wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan. Recently, there was a brother named Ludwig Kaiser in WWE, built as an Austrian technician who's very much haughty and whatnot. He goes through. He gets changed into a gimmick of El Grande Americano from the Gulf of Mexico, who is a luchador representing America. And mind you, the brother who had that character before him wasn't making it work. This cat comes in and makes it work all of a sudden, and it should be this makes no sense. Next thing you know, that El Grande Americano is now one of the most popular luchadors in all of Mexico. He was just on a promotion AAA, got a pop out the wazoo. They were singing, the Mexican fans were singing his theme song. This man had the mic for 5 minutes to himself, and he had the crowd in the palm of his hand. With a gimmick that was honestly riddled with some racial undertones, all of a sudden turned into one of the most beloved gimmicks in all of Mexico right now. And it's relatively new. The what? Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold up a second. I think the world got on me. Hold on a minute. Hold on a second. Lord. Brother. Woo! My gosh. Okay. So. That. All right. I felt something crawl on me and I stopped everything. Okay, I don't deal with bugs. My movie's clean. We keep a clean house over here. Something got on my arm. I was trying to be composed, brother. I was this close. I tell you, when I tell you, I was a second away from losing my mind. Y'all about to, when I tell you, again, like I said, y'all, I'm not not gonna call out other streamers' names, but I ain't dirty. I'm clean as can be. I promise you that. But when I tell you I was, brother, this thing, I don't know what that thing was. I don't know what that was. That thing got on my arm, got on my shirt, and I just went quiet and see, Bodega, stop. We're not doing this. We're not playing that game, Bodega. We ain't playing that game. We ain't playing that game. Talk about Roach. Attack me. It wasn't a roach. Well, I ain't got roaches. But man, I don't know what that. I ain't seen. Good gosh, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. But man, whoo! Let me catch my breath real quick. I might just end this show right now. That man, that will. Oh gosh, oh gosh. I'm not scared of bugs. I just don't want them on me. I ain't scared of no bug. I just don't want none of that on me. I don't want none of that on me. Lo and behold, okay. What the world was I saying? The world was I talking about before? Bakwa, yeah, I remember that. Bakwa. Grande Americano. Gimmick got over. Everybody loves him. Now we want to see him succeed. Bakwa, same thing. Have some fights in Mexico. Hey, do some interviews with some Mexican publications. Go through and have yourself be ingrained with them. Let them see your face. Let them see how you fight, and they'll want to support you every which way. You just got to be able to go through and connect and make some noise. That all of this revolves around the same thing. You got to make some noise. You gotta make some. If you don't make some noise, closed mouth don't get fed. Gotta make some noise and make yourself known. When you do, you'll be good to go. Had you run a like everyone I did, you talking right I did. Look, man, I ain't had no tissue or nothing, so I had to grab that thing with the palm of my hand. And again, it wasn't a roach. I don't know what it was, but I was like, man, if it sting me, oh well. So I had to grab that thing with the palm of my hand. And I had to run to the bathroom because I didn't know that thing could fly. I was not risking a doggone thing. You, brother, I clenched my fist so doggone hard, you would have thought I was getting ready to rock somebody. I'm telling you. I went flight or fight mode for a second. And I was like, I don't know what this is, and I don't know what you are, but get away from me. That was all. So, oh shoot, but look, but again, with Bakwa, he can be ingrained and he can be edified by working with them, by getting that population to want to see him. But he just got to get out there, be active. You do that, you'll be easy. It'll be easy because it's been done before. Let me see. Facts. This is just a drawback from being signed to a small promotion. I mean, like you're right, but it's again. My thing is, it's the promoter's job, regardless of how big or small, to make an effort to make you known. It's your job. You can't just be stagnant when you know that there are people that want to see what you about. And you got hype. You gotta capitalize on that. You have to. And the fact that he ain't is like, oh my gosh. Well, the fact that his promotion ain't. It's like, dang, man, you're wasting an opportunity. You really are. Things we did in the background was with like an Eddie Hearn of Matchroom, instead of like Kathy Duva of Main Events. Again, like the scale is insanely big, insanely bigger, insanely bigger. Yeah, no question about that. There is no denying that. It's just the fact that, man, I know it can be better. It just has to be better. It just has to be better. Let me see. How do you see Pacheco versus Pacheco versus Saijo going? It's going to be a very good fight. I got Pacheco winning that fight. I've been high on Pacheco for a hot minute. I mean, this man is something insane. This brother can fight with some of the best in the land. Pacheco is one of my favorite rising stars in the world of boxing right now. I'm dead serious. He's one of my favorite rising stars. He is an incredible figure that can be spectacular in this boxing game. He really can. He really can. And it's like, when I look at Pacheco, I see somebody who really, and I mean really, can become one of the future faces of the leading names in this sport. I do. We keep talking about how the next generation is coming up. How we have fighters as the old regime goes away, the new regime is going to come into fruition and is going to be, taking over the reins of writing the story of this sport. All that's true. And some people are going to have bigger pens to write with than others. And I'm strongly feeling like Pacheco's going to be one of them. I'm strongly feeling Pacheco's going to be one of those big name fighters by the time everything's all said and done. I truly believe it. He is something special. And I got him beating Saijo. I got him knocking him out. I really do. Because, boy, he's so sharp with his shots, man. I love it. And again, he's only 24 years old. And he's already looking like this. Brother, once he hits 26, 28, he's going to be a monster. An absolute monster. He's already a monster now. It's insane. It's incredible. And it's something I can't wait to see. My gosh, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be so exciting. Let me see. Are you watching Buatsi versus Parker tomorrow? Sadly, I will not be able to see that fight, or at least stream that fight with you all. We like I said, we're getting some things together, so we got to take some time and do what we got to do to handle everything on my end. We got some stuff in the works, but we'll be able to talk about it. Because like I said, again, Buatsi off the back of that fight with Callum Smith there got everybody a buzz. He still is a person that we want to see how he's going to improve off of that grit and grind effort from Callum Smith and turn it into a championship opportunity. Potentially later on. And potentially a rematch with Callum Smith next year. Because I'm not going to lie. If I see Buatsi win this fight, you wouldn't be hard pressed to tell me that that a rematch between them wouldn't be possible. I'd be saying I'd want that fight to happen. That was a war. I would love to see them run that back. But again, that would be contingent on if he's able to get past Parker. And we're going to find out. For the sake of having that rematch, yeah, I'm going to pick him. I'm going to pick him. I just hope he doesn't willingly eat the amount of shots he was eating against Callum Smith against Parker. Not because Parker's a bigger puncher per se, but just because I don't want that damage to be done on him. That was the fact that he was standing. It went the distance with Callum Smith. With that amount of damage was just insane. Was insane. It was insane. Ridiculous. So we hopefully we see as he keeps on continuing better defensive practice. But still, the physical ability of him being dominant, we keep on having that go through. That'll be exciting. I can't wait to see it. No question about it. Let me see. Shabazz Masad. Is it Masad or Masood? I think it's Masad. Shahbaz Masad versus Peter McGraw. Yeah, Peter McGraw. Going Masad is a rising star at 122. See, look, Masad is somebody who you need to look out for. And this goes back to our conversation that we had, I think, yesterday. 122 without Inoue is going to still be an incredibly dangerous division, both with old guard and new guard combined. It's still going to be something serious. So you best be in your best interest. I'm sorry, that's bad grammar. It would be in your best interest to get connected with some of the people at 122 now. Because that next era can still be just as exciting as the first era. And mind you, who that division has to look up to follow in their footsteps, or to follow in his footsteps, is Inoue. So they're going to be moving like Inoue moves as well. And that's going to make for a banger of a division. Because ain't nobody going to be ducking smoke. And there's still going to be a man to rule in Nakatani even after it's gone. Even after it's gone. Even after it's gone. And so it's going to be great. But I think we had what? 3 hours? Good gosh, we had 3 hours, 30 minutes, great day in the morning. I think we might have to actually set a limit, and we gotta end this off a little bit. So we're gonna do last calls for the championship rounds to make sure you can get your stuff in and get your stuff up on whatever else you want to discuss on the matter. When it comes, I almost forgot. We did have Terrence Crawford in the thumbnail, and if I didn't play the clip, I forgot I needed to play that clip for you all to see. That completely left my mind when it came to me trying to make sure I had everything in order. Let me see, where's it at? Speaking of which, we got some breaking news before I show you that clip.
And what about
Yep. Okay, yeah. So we do need to see this. And Rhoda, I do see a question. Can Sky Nicholson become undisputed at 122? I want to say yes. Because I do believe it. But well, you know what? Nah, I'm going to stand on it. Yeah, I think she can become undisputed at 122. I think Nicholson can become undisputed. I do. I do. I truly do. And I want to say I have some hesitancies because I think there is one name that can beat her, but I'm gonna go with my gut. I think she can become the undisputed king of or undisputed queen of 122. I call her king. I don't care. The ruler, the man, the woman, whatever title you want to use. You can do it. She can do it. All right, she can do it. You know what? I'm gonna let my hesitancy go by the wayside. Nah, I know Nicholson's that good. I know Nicholson truly can go through and be dominant against anybody. Doggone it, I sure enough know she can become undisputed. Now I think she's gonna do it. Actually, I'll rephrase it. I know she's gonna do it. I'm gonna stand on it right now. I know she's gonna become undisputed. If she gets upset, I'll be shocked. But I guarantee you, I know she's gonna become undisputed. But real quick, as before we get out of here, I need to make sure I go to I go and hold on. Wait a minute. There we go. Okay, yeah. Breaking news part with Eddie Hearn and Javon Ennis. They're gonna be at ringside for the Virgil Ortiz Lubin fight, and I'll let him say it himself.
The return of Ennis, they saying it's about
March.
that time?
Yeah.
March. Got him who saying it's March.
Listen, myself and Ennis will be flying to Dallas to watch Virgil Ortiz because we want the fight. We were told to make that fight by the zone. We all met with Golden Boy, everyone agreed to do the fight. We haven't heard anything. So we will be there ringside to say, let's make the fight.
It was talks about, you was talking with Sander Saya's team also to make some happen and then to see if they fight you guys.
Yeah, with Top Rank. You know, we spoke to Top Rank and said, listen, maybe you do a fight in Puerto Rico and then we fight Ennis Puerto Rican Day at Madison Square Garden. That would be massive. So we'll see. We want all the big fights. Gervonta Ennis will fight anybody at 154.
All right. Well,
What about
you heard it here first, or at least you heard it. You heard it at some point in time here. Eddie Hearn and Boots are going to be present for that Virgil Ortiz Lubin fight. So what we can expect to see, most likely the winner, what we assume will be Virgil Ortiz, but even still the winner outright, will get met face to face and called out directly by Boots Ennis for a chance to fight him for their interim belt. And so we got ourselves some anticipation of more and more. Like I'm saying, I really think that these big fights are gonna happen. And we're gonna see Boots keep to his word. And if he doesn't, we're gonna hold him to it. But man, it's looking mighty good right now. That it's gonna be something serious. It's gonna be something serious. Whoever gets that win better be ready. Because Boots is on his way. Literally. He's on his way. And once that fight takes place, well, we're gonna see the drama go insane lengths. And go to absolute incredible degree. And it's gonna be fun. I guarantee you it's gonna be a phenomenal time. But I think we're gonna pack this up and send it home. We've had a phenomenal conversation. We've had talking points abounding. No, I still didn't show y'all that last clip. I keep on saying I'm gonna do it, and I never did it. Let me do it now. Hold on. I'm sorry. I got my stuff. I do have my stuff together. It's just I am trying to make sure that we have everything covered and that I ain't missing nothing. So, here.
Hey, Johnny.
This is Terrence Crawford going up to Janabek Ali Hanala in one of his events over, I forget exactly where the event is, but over there, wherever it was, and essentially, proverbially, calling him out. And I'll let the man say it himself. No, not that. Here we go.
Hey, Johnny. We're here next. Looking for you. Looking for December 6th, how you gonna do it?
I got my eyes on you, Janabek. Good luck.
Hey, Johnny.
That all but confirms he's going back down to 160. Well, here we go. All right, the road to four-time undisputed, I guess, officially starts now. Winner of Janabek versus Laura, unified. And either Crawford faces him off directly after, or he waits for Janabek to take the titles and become undisputed at 160. And then he fights. So really it's going to be contingent on, if Janabek keeps on winning, it's going to be Janabek. If Janabek does lose, then most likely we could see Crawford say, all right, I'm coming down. And whoever got the unified titles, you may not be Janabek, but you're going to get it. We can wait for the big fight, sure, but we're going to get that smoke. Somebody going to get the smoke one way or another. And so it's going to be exciting. Nonetheless, we also got word, in lieu of a litany of other things, Keyshawn Davis is coming back to the boxing ring on December 22nd. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about this at the start of the show, but again, we can talk about this more next. It's in the thumbnail, so we just got to address it, but we can talk about it more on next week. But Keyshawn Davis, hey, that buddy's coming. He's coming back. He is here to return to 140 on December 22nd. So shoot, in a couple months from now, we're going to see who was at one point in time one of the hottest names at 135, who was looking to be not just a threat to Tank, but a threat to Shakur, and a threat to Schofield and anybody else you can think of, coming down the line to go and fight for titles against De Los Santos, but missed weight and fell out. So now the return and resurgence of Keyshawn to get his career back on track after, again, beating up Albright, after Albright had beat up his brother in the ring. And deservedly so, got that win, because Keyshawn Davis' brother was getting caught with that right, was it the left hand? Was it the left hand or the overhand right that he kept getting caught with every single time? Whatever it was. He was getting beat bad. And so because of that, Keyshawn went out back. Boom, 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 boom. He had his own fight, all right. He still sold the headlines for the bad reason. Now he's trying to make a resurgence and get himself back up to where he's in good standing, saying he got himself right, saying he's fixed some of these problems that got him so perturbed, which is great. Now we're going to see what he can do. And again, the boxing world's better when he's in it. So we want to see how he's able to go about and making this vein work for him yet again. But he's coming down the line. We can't see who to fight. You can put your chats in the comments of who you think he's going to fight once that fight does get announced. But for now, we can save that whole conversation for another time, because I think it's time to pack it up and send it home and get on out of here. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the show with me on today. Pound for pound, who were the top comments of the day? Number 3 was Armin Rhoda. Number 2 was Al Buga. And number 1 was TSO Bodega. Ending out the week as the pound for pound best commenter of this show. We appreciate all your support. We appreciate all of you coming through. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and chatted and added their voice to the conversation. If you would like to support the channel, we got Cash App, we got PayPal, we got links down below in the description. If you would like to come and support, it would mean the world to me to help celebrate and make this show bigger, better, and grander. Like I said, this is what I do for work, it's what I do for my job. So all with you and your support, we can make this happen. No question about it. Absolutely. The world. Wait a minute. Stream donors. Wait a second. Did somebody send me some cheddar? Wait a minute. Hold on. Actually, that doesn't even make sense. I don't even think we even activated monetization yet. Unless I'm wrong. Or unless that might have been when I was doing a test to make sure that the bot was working correctly before the stream. It just picked up. Regardless of which, if somebody sent me some dough, hey, appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you want to send some more, hey, we got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below. Like I said, we are not monetized yet. We are getting it. We're getting everything put in place correctly. Once we do, it's going to be quick. We're going to have everything up and running so you can be able to super chat and do all this stuff. Oh, yeah, and flood me with money. Make it so that I'm rich and abundant, all abounding with all of you helping in and helping to fill my pockets with greed. I'm kidding. I'm messing. But look, it's been a blast. It's been fun. I appreciate all your support. Leave a like on the stream before you leave. Comment your thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to the channel. Keep on sharing the show with everybody that you know. Keep on building up this empire. Come on and join the empire. And be sure to rate us 5 stars on every podcasting platform imaginable. And hey, enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. And we're going to be back next week covering the world of boxing, sports, and beyond. I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we are out here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Tuesday. Be safe. Be blessed. And we out.